Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Sorry I missed the Thursday YouTube stream, I wasn't feeling very well, so that's why we're doing it today, but I'm glad to see y'all, YouTube crew, along with the Twitch regulars. How's it going? How's it going? Make sure you like the stream, I'd appreciate it, it would help me out. Other than that, let's just get into it, I guess. I don't really have any housekeeping stuff to go over, we're just watching whatever today, you know? Got a whole smattering of things. Let's see what we want to get into first. How about some kind of... Let's do a Sovsit first. We'll do a Sovsit. I think that sounds good. Oh, Christine V, thanks for your second month of membership on YouTube. Says, hi Hannah, haven't been catching as many streams because of a new full-time job, but I guess that's the price I have to pay under capitalism. Sad. Hey, you know, at least you have a full-time job, you know? That's good, I guess. I guess, as if it's not a requirement. Still, at least the VODs are available. And I appreciate viewership even if it's not live. Most people aren't available live, I get it.
Hey, buddy. You roll your window down for me? I can't hear you. You need to roll your window down for me.
This is probably either California or Florida. Let's see if it says Florida.
Just a little bit more for me, please.
can hear me.
Go ahead, give me another unit.
You can hear me.
Okay, may I see your driver's license, please? Registration and proof of insurance. The reason I'm stopping you, sir, your tax owing suspended for
Oh, nice, Jen. Rad.
no insurance.
No, sir. I think we got
I'm sorry?
I said, you got wrong, sir.
Sir,
If I committed a crime,
okay, we're not going to play that game today, okay?
I'm not going to give you anything.
Okay, I need your driver's license, sir.
Sir, what's your name? and last name?
Sir, my name is Sergeant Glass, ID 293.
What?
My name is Sergeant Glass, ID 293.
Okay.
Your tag is showing suspended for not having
Is his first name George?
insurance on file.
I remember him from the Brady Bunch.
Fortunately, you got it wrong.
Okay, so you're going to refuse to identify yourself? You want to go down that route?
I admit that. Unfortunately, sir,
That's the route
I
you're
have
gonna
not
go.
committed a crime.
You have committed a crime.
No, I meant.
Sir, your tag is showing suspended.
How is it? No. This is my New York.
You have no insurance.
No.
So here's how we resolve this.
Did he just say this isn't New York? If you have your license out of New York or your registration out of New York and it's suspended, it's still a suspended license and registration. What?
Listen, show me proof of insurance, and we're done. It's a very simple process.
I'm not.
Driver,
Yeah, you can DM me.
Crime, sir.
cars where I would send.
I have not
Drivers
committed a
refusing to
crime. Get your
cooperate,
supervisor down here.
refusing to give any
Get your
information.
supervisor down here, please. Get your supervisor down.
Especially after the quantum grammar seminar, it's so funny listening to this, knowing that like half the bullshit they're saying comes from an absolute wackadoo. I mean, obviously, but it's not like just a grift. I think a bit of it's like, oh, this is actually the rantings of a really unhinged person. Okay.
I am the supervisor, sir.
Unreadable.
I don't answer questions. Here.
I don't need that, sir.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. I don't answer questions.
Sovereign citizen.
I've noticed in the last year and a half or so, it's become so much more common that they know what sovereign citizens are. So that's good. That's good, at least.
I need a unit.
I don't
Refusing to ID, you get 14.
I don't answer questions.
Before I copied sovereign citizen that you need an additional unit.
Sir, I'm explaining this.
Still unreadable.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my radio. Can you run the RO?
What is your reasonable articulate excuse?
Sir,
Your registration is suspended. He already told you. It's so weird because they ask the same questions over and over again, like from a script, but they have no idea the point of even asking the questions sometimes. So even when they get an answer, they just repeat it as if repeating it is going to give them a different answer.
I already told you what my suspicion was.
Oh, I don't think, no.
Okay.
No.
Your tag is coming back as
Or probably should just be advised your traffic is
Well,
unreadable.
I don't like that, so it shouldn't count.
You're a traffic police officer? No. No, concerned.
Guards Bravo 10, confirming the tag is suspended based on no insurance, correct?
No, you wrong. Sir.
Correct. The RO at James Lab Marshman suspended as well.
It's
Okay.
all suitable, sir.
Are you James?
So false claim is
Are you James? James?
I do not answer questions.
Sir, let me explain this to you. I really don't want to go down this road with having to take you out of the car for failure to identification. Sir, the window will come down.
No.
Okay? Don't be reaching for anything in the
The
car.
window will come down.
Okay?
I
Ominous.
don't answer questions.
Okay, well, you're going to have to give me your information, sir, by Florida law.
I'm not
Okay.
committing a crime, sir.
And let me guess, you're traveling, right? You're not driving a vehicle?
I don't answer questions.
Okay.
You
Well, I
don't
need
answer
your ID.
questions.
Your tag is suspended. You have no insurance, and it says, according to the DMV, your driver's license is suspended. Okay. So,
I don't answer
you really want to go to jail over something silly like this,
sir. I do not
when it could
answer
just be a ticket?
questions. I do not answer
Is that what you really want to do,
I do not answer questions.
sir? I'm asking as politely as I can for your information.
Guards Bravo 5 Mile 10. 10-4, 27.
I do not answer questions.
Well, sir, you have to.
I do not answer questions.
All right, step out of the car.
Nope.
He does have other seminars, but my thought is that it's probably just the same information regurgitated and slightly altered. I assume he deviates about the specifics of the lies, but I can't imagine his other stuff is that much different.
Sir, I'm giving you a lawful reason to step out of the vehicle.
No.
Sir, if you don't step out of the vehicle, you're going to be escorted from the vehicle.
It is an interesting way to describe it.
Do not answer questions.
Okay? You're going to...
Like, I get it. I get it. They have to get him out of the car because he's refusing to follow the law. I don't know if I'd call it escorted, but okay.
Be escorted from the vehicle. I really don't want to do that, James.
Do not answer questions.
I understand
Do not
that.
answer questions.
Give me your insurance card and show me your insurance is valid. Yeah.
You want me to park in front of him? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. That would stop him from speeding off. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, Ben. Bravo 7, can you put your
Can you put your car in front of him?
Don't be reaching for anything in the car. No, get your hand out of that right now.
You guys in front?
Don't be reaching for anything in the car. I need you to step out of the car, sir. Let's go. Step out of the car. I don't need your book on what you have to do. You know the rules for a traffic stop.
And so do I.
Okay? Your license is showing suspended, your tag is suspended, and it says you have no insurance on file.
That's impossible.
Then show me that.
That's impossible.
Then show me that.
I don't consent to arrest. I don't.
You don't have to consent to an arrest. How many times do we have to explain this?
It's not
It's an arrest. Kinda de facto, you don't want it to happen.
a consent thing, sir.
Yes, it is. I haven't committed crime, sir.
Sir, I'm telling you right now, you have to identify yourself to me.
This is not Nazi Germany. And
You're right, it's not. We're not doing that, sir. All I'm asking you for is your driver's license.
I'm not, sir. You're ready to reach and pull a gun on me.
I'm not reaching for, you're the one reaching into a bag, sir. I haven't pulled my gun out. But you're the one reaching into a bag against my orders of asking you not to do that. All right, are you going to step out of the car or not?
I'm not, sir.
Stand by with him, please.
Yep.
We're going to have to take him out of the car.
I'll give the cop credit, he tried many times.
What's that? What do you think?
Try to reason with him again.
What's that? Triana, Triana 40.
He says, what's stream about today? Random stuff, Oliver. Random stuff.
I don't. At the end of it, we can give you everybody's information.
All 418.
Yep. It's John Wiz and
What's your ID?
454.
Sharon 331.
He did. He just said it. Say it again.
454. I can't hear you. What's my name? Officer John.
Officer Sharon 331.
Well, I walked up.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm seeing 4 plus the filming cop. There's 5 cops here right now, I think.
On this. So what's going on?
He hears. I'm wearing a headphone, so I don't think I can hear the chirping.
I can't. What? You won't answer questions? Why not? Why? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Speak a little bit more loudly and clearly.
I think we're on lock.
He's just hanging out.
I think we're on lock.
He's been hanging out during stream a lot, even when it's not timeout. Maybe he just likes me.
Over here, I think.
Penal code? Okay.
It's weird to me that, like, I know he's just a cat. It's funny to me that cats don't know what the internet is. So he has no idea that he's on camera, and it wouldn't matter. He's a cat, you know? But, like, he just has no idea. He's oblivious. It's cute. Makes you wonder if I'm on some sort of higher dimension alien stream as someone else's human cat. And I don't know it. Twilight Zone Rod Serling ending.
Okay. Well, do you, and to drive on the state of Florida, you need a driver's license. And you have to be able to provide proof of that driver's license. Well, you have to be able to provide proof of registration and insurance as well. Okay.
Woo, chirpy birds.
Okay. What if you did commit a crime though? If you did commit a crime, would you then ID yourself?
Honey, no, I'm sorry.
Hypothetically speaking here, just conversation between you. If you did commit a crime, would you identify yourself?
I got a little bit of. I forgot I was wearing lipstick. I got it though. It's fine.
Okay. Well, if you did commit a crime, would you identify yourself or not? Okay. So you believe there is no crime?
What's on the front of that, is it? Okay, is there a Florida tag on that car?
No, New York.
It's New York, okay, because I was gonna say there's a New York pass up here, okay. Hey, just make sure you watch his hands. He was going in and out of the bag a couple of times.
Oh god, your butt stinks. Your butt stinks!
I was able to find a driver's license for you, so now I know who you are, okay? So that's number one. Number two, you are driving with a suspended tag and a suspended
Oliver,
no
you're on the internet. Rude.
insurance, which means your car will not be allowed to be driven, okay? That I know, I'm telling you what's happening. So the question is, do you have somebody that can come and get you in the car, that can come and get you? Because you're not going to be able to drive. I can't hear you. No, I got your driver's license, so I know who you are now. That's the easy part. The hard part is, if you just show me proof of insurance, you're on your way. Then it's nothing more than a clerical issue.
I haven't committed a crime, so.
You have.
No, I have not.
You've committed a traffic infraction, sir.
You throwing that at me.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you what the state. Listen, you're in Florida. You committed a traffic infraction.
No crime.
Okay? So I don't understand why you just won't give me proof of insurance and be on your way.
I have not committed a crime, sir.
You have.
No, I have not.
Yes, you have!
You have committed a traffic infraction. You're driving with suspended plates. It is a criminal offense to drive with no insurance in the state of Florida. It is a criminal offense.
I have not committed a crime.
Are you driving the vehicle?
I have not committed a crime.
Have you driving the vehicle?
I have not committed a crime, sir.
When was the last time you were arrested?
I do not answer questions.
Of course you don't.
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Just waiting to see if the VIN comes back.
Because there's no insurance on file.
Right, but the problem is I can't let this car drive with no insurance.
Correct. Yeah.
If it gets to that point, we have people with polo wraps, we have window breakers. If it gets to that point.
Well, it's going to get to that point because he has no
I
insurance.
have like the one from the quartermaster.
You gotta have to tow the car.
Yeah.
Well, we have
Okay. Proof of insurance, we would be all set, James. Why won't you do that? Sir, why won't you do that?
James, listen to me real quick. James, listen to me, dude. We don't want to break your window. We don't want to break your window. That's the last thing we want to do. Okay.
They're gonna break his window, aren't they? Again, I get it at this point. They've given him many opportunities.
No, for resisting.
Just sucks. Why are people? Why is society?
Is that what really what you want to happen today? Don't you just want to go about your business? Okay, pop the window. Let's go.
Oh, we didn't get to see it from that cop's angle. That cop is having a blast, though. That cop was waiting to do this. He was excited. They were like, call Phil. Phil loves to smash windows. He's having just the time of his life. He was off duty. He came out for this. Jesus.
Get the door. Open the door. Get the door. Unlock the door. Unlock the door.
Be careful.
Don't reach for anything.
Don't reach for anything. Don't you do it.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Let's go.
There's been no indication that he's had any kind of weapon or that he's a threat to you. Why are like 3 of you pointing not even just tasers, but I'm pretty sure those were actual like live round guns at this guy? I get it. I know you need to get him out of the car. He's being obstinate, he's being stupid, doesn't know what he's doing. Do you need to point the guns at him? Someone being stupid doesn't mean they're violent. Calm down. Holy shit.
Under the belt. Oh, look at him. Hey, they just arrested. Hey, look at them. They're doing this for no reason. They're doing this for no reason, y'all. I'm telling you, y'all. Listen.
Thanks, Aries Corns.
Got him.
I do not consent to arrest.
Still shouting, I don't consent to arrest. Does he just think everyone in prison is stupid and didn't think to say that?
I do not.
Okay,
Swiper, no swiping.
James, it's
I do
over.
not consent to arrest.
Copper, no arresting.
I do
James,
not consent to searches.
James, it's
I'm not
over.
the arrest. I do not consent to searches.
James, it's over.
No, I do not consent to the arrest. I do not consent to searches.
At this point, like, they're beyond that. Like, they're frisking you for weapons at this point. And, like, they're going to impound your vehicle, so they're going to inventory it.
I'm not resisting arrest. I do not consent to searches.
You did resist.
I do not resist arrest. I do not
failed to
consent to
identify
searches.
yourself?
Because I did not commit a crime.
You did.
Because I did not commit
You're
a crime.
driving without
Under the penal
insurance
code of presented
and
ID.
suspended.
On the presented code of presented ID, you are arrested.
Are we double locked?
You are committing a...
Wouldn't it be awesome if you could just tell people, like, hey, the thing you think is not true, and they'd go, oh shit, really? Thank you for letting me know. And then they adjust their worldview.
crime as we speak. You guys are committing a crime as we speak. You are committing a crime as we speak. You guys should strip your badges off now. I'm going for that insurance bond number. I guarantee you on that. I'm going for it.
I never understand. Cops get away with actual murder. You think that you're gonna sue them successfully for them not doing anything illegal? Like, what?
I'm going for my insurance bond number. I'm going for my insurance bond number. See that? Look at that. I don't consent to searches. I don't consent to searches. He's searching my vehicle. I don't consent to searches. I don't consent to searches. You are violating the constitutional rights. You have just violated my constitutional rights. You just violated my constitutional rights. Bastard. I shouldn't be in this handcuffs. You know I ain't commit no fucking crime.
I like the no response from the cop. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're not gonna convince him? What's the point?
I did not harm any of your police officers or anything. I did not harm any police officers. I was
Guards
not
are over
aggressive
5
to
on
any police
1019.
officer. I'm not presented ID. This is not Nazi Germany. You just locked me up for no reason. You just...
Not having your car impounded because you're driving it around without insurance is not equivalent to Nazi Germany. Because when people say Nazi Germany, they're generally talking about, like, fascism or genocide. They're not talking about just, like, requiring licenses for things. Jesus, the perversion of the use of, like, actual world atrocities in order to justify your antisocial behavior is so ridiculous.
You just committed frauds and treasons. And you broke my window. Sweet. Oh, this is gonna be sweet. I don't consent to searches. And you searched me. You searched me. I didn't comply with searches. I said I didn't consent to searches.
Yes, the Fourth Amendment says you have a right to be protected against unreasonable search and seizures, but the courts have determined over years and years of judicial review what is constituted as reasonable versus unreasonable. There have also been laws put into place since the writing of the Constitution that further help define this. So when you are under arrest, they can, like, check you for weapons for safety reasons. That's not considered an unreasonable search. If they have probable cause, that's a reasonable search as far as the law is concerned. Your personal misinterpretation of how society, in particular, like, the administrative state, including the judiciary, like, your idea of how this works isn't how this works. If you have a personal opinion on an interpretation of the Constitution that differs from the entire judiciary, you're just wrong in practical, like practically speaking. You can think whatever you want. If no one else interprets it that way, that's part of the system, that's not how it works.
I didn't consent to search. That's why I'm recording. It's recording.
Hang on, I'm still on.
Yeah, no, he wants to stay on.
Oh, yeah. Alright, I'm on. Hang on. Should one of us keep a taser just in case, or just... Yeah.
Let's see.
What else am I supposed to get rid of now? It's been... He's still just as fired up, so I don't know how this is gonna...
Surprised this has kept going. He must still be mad.
I'm only complying on threat.
Okay, yeah. He's
Life. I'm only complying on threat of life.
only complying on threat of life, sir. No one has threatened you with your life.
I'm only complying on threat of life.
Hey, I'm just grabbing my keys. I'll be right behind you.
No worries.
You guys can straighten it down. You just could be. I don't consent to searching. And you keep searching me. I don't consent to searching.
You don't need to consent to this one. That's not how this one works.
Searching me, even when I don't consent.
Like, it's so important for people to understand their rights, but holy shit, you need to understand your rights and not attribute rights that you don't have, or else you're just gonna be confused. Ugh. Okay, let's watch something. Does Christ live in your home? This is a 1950s educational film. When's my memoir coming out? Let's say next week. It'll be interesting to see if I'll write it.
Good job.
I won't.
It was not going to be good enough, Mr. Cartwright. The man who takes over our local franchise is going to do an outstanding job.
Well, understood me, sir. I believe my record for the Apex Company speaks for itself.
Oh, I'll admit that if their other salesmen had been as dependable as you are, the company might not have folded. But frankly, that was a small-time operation compared with what we'll need. My job as regional manager is going to be to get a man who can mold this raw territory into a paying proposition.
Is this how people talked in the 50s about business?
Now, it's going to take imagination, a dogged determination to win, and, well, the man I pick is going to have to be a winner.
This guy just sounds like Gary V.
Well, Mr. Hayes, I know the opportunity for your product. I can sell it.
Now, of course, you realize that this job in the beginning will not pay as much as you've been making.
Well, I'm much more concerned with the potentials.
Well, I thank you for coming over, Mr. Cartwright.
Well, thank you for seeing me.
That's my job. I'll check into your references and get back to you next week. I have several other applicants to interview before I can make some kind of a final decision.
Oh, yes, sir, I understand. But if there's anything else I can tell you meantime...
If there is, I'll let you know. Thanks again.
That was...
Bye. Goodbye.
What a strange vibe. It's just like, that was the weirdest grinder hookup I have ever had. Why did he offer me a job at the end?
Pie's here good, Mom.
Thank you, darling.
Can I be excused, Mom? I have a date. I gotta get going.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jack.
me too.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Gotta drink that milk. The dairy industry called. They said, "Did you drink your milk today, America?"
Hello, Daddy.
Hi.
We gotta justify these subsidies
We were thinking
somehow.
as long as we could, dear, but Jack and Sue have dates.
Oh?
The pie's sure good, Daddy. I had 2 pieces.
Well, thanks for the tip.
I'll go clear the table, Mom.
Why don't we wait till Daddy finishes? I'll call you in a few minutes.
Okay. Just Jill.
Hi there.
Hi. I kept your dinner hot.
Well, don't bother. I'm not hungry.
Did you see Mr. Hayes?
Yeah, I saw him.
I guess there's no need to ask what happened.
Oh, I got a chance, but Mr. Hayes wants to talk to a lot of other applicants first.
Well,
What does this have to do with Jesus?
let's not worry about it. If this doesn't work out, there'll be other jobs.
Yeah, but it's not just a question of a job. See, with Jack in college now and Sue planning to start next year, I gotta find the right job where my experience will pay off. This Hayes deal is exactly what I'm looking for. Got to land it somehow. I just got to.
I'm trying to figure out how old this guy is. He's either 32 or 50. I can't tell.
You've also got to relax.
Oh, now, how can I? Don't you realize, dear, that
Bob, I know how serious
Video's low. I'll turn it up.
the situation is. But it's beginning to show in your face.
Got any ideas?
Well, darling, why don't we get away for the weekend? We can go to your folks' farm. We haven't seen them for ages. It'll do us all a world of good.
Well, at least it'd be a change of scenery.
And a change of perspective.
But I wouldn't want them to know I'm out of work.
There's no reason why they should.
You don't think the kids are worried, do you?
Oh, Jack and Sue are so wrapped up in their own little worlds, I sometimes doubt if they know we exist outside of meals and allowances.
Yeah, I wonder what'll happen if the day comes when there won't be any more allowances.
Well, we'll see you later.
Jack's dropping me off at Mildred's, so if she calls, tell her I'm on my way.
Wait a minute. How would you two like to spend the weekend at the farm?
Oh, not this weekend, Mom.
But you haven't seen your grandparents in months.
Oh, I know, Mom, but, well, I figured I'd catch up on a few things this weekend.
And I was going to see some of the fellas.
All right. Forget it.
You two ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Well, Mom, it's just, well, there's nothing to do out at Grant's except sit around. It's so boring out there.
Well, boring or not, we're going.
If you say
All right,
so.
Mother.
We're both tired. Let's wait and see what a weekend at the farm will do for all of us.
All right.
I'll fix you something to eat.
There's old Gramps. Fought in World War II. Gonna be vague about which side, for legal reasons. Brought him over on something called Operation Paperclip.
They're here. The children are here. Oh, come in, darling. I'm so glad to see you.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, man. Come in. Hello, Bob.
Oh, we're so happy to see you.
We were beginning to think that you'd forgotten where we live.
Please visit us.
Nowadays, time passes.
FaceTime doesn't exist and we hate each other.
Yeah, sure does.
Well, we have your rooms all ready. I suppose you'd like to freshen up?
Oh, yes, Gramps, we'd love it.
Oh, we've so much to have.
He fought in the Civil War. He burned Atlanta to the ground himself.
Jack, you've got to tell me all about college. And Sue, I want to hear all the things you've been doing. And you, darling. Oh, darling, how you have grown, you big girl.
Well, come on, son. Take the load off your feet.
Well, I won't need a second invitation, Dad.
Well, how are things going?
Oh, same old rat race.
You do look a bit weary.
Yeah, you know, you got to keep one step ahead of them.
Well, you just fill up on your mother's cooking and get some of this nice, fresh country air into your lungs. Do you a world of good.
Well, it certainly kept you two folks looking spry.
Yes, that and...
I just turned 52 last week. Looking great.
remembering to let the good Lord carry some of the burden.
He just has a double-barrel shotgun in the corner, by the way. Does anyone, you guys see that? I think that's straight up a double-barrel shotgun, just leaning against the wall in the corner.
Wish I could do that.
What's stopping you?
Well, Dad, I don't think you understand. Now, city life is altogether different. Here on the farm, you can relax, think things over. But in the big business race, you gotta keep racing or else they'll run over you.
Son, somehow what you've just said doesn't sound like you.
What do you mean?
But I don't know for sure. But it seems to me that you've been forgetting to put first thing first. Now, maybe it's because you've been so busy with the so-called rat race that you've failed to depend on the Lord for things that are more important.
This feels like a non sequitur.
Now, look, Dad, there are certain things that you can't depend on the Lord for.
Is that so?
You lived, you both lived through the Great Depression, right? Kind of seems like you should know the material reality that, yes, you can end up in a place without food or other things that are good to have if you want to live.
What, for instance? Oh, I don't know. A lot of things. They're just too numerous for me to mention right now.
Son, the older I get, the more I realize that what was so important yesterday isn't so important today, and it'll be less important tomorrow. Personally, there's only one important...
Didn't your dad own people?
...thing I'm concerned about. Pleasing the Lord. And over the years, I've learned that I can't even begin to be happy if I worry about tomorrow. So I just tend to today's chores and let the good Lord worry about tomorrow.
You're a white Protestant dude? It's probably relatively easy in the 1950s. Like, other people have issues, you know that, right? Like, you know other people actually have, like, food insecurity, homelessness, lack of rights, because this is the fucking 50s.
More ice cream, anybody?
I'd like some. I think you've had enough for now, dear.
Well, we'll have the rest later.
I like that it's a running joke that the younger sister likes dessert, and they're all kind of shitty about it.
Don't worry, we won't let it melt.
Like, straight up, that's probably ice cream they made, too. They're in a rural area in the 50s. They probably made that ice cream.
I wish you folks could stay over and spend a few days with us.
Well, so do we, but there's a little matter of trying to make a living.
Yeah, next week's a big game with Kansas, and I gotta be there.
I'm sorry we weren't able to get in for your games this fall, Jack.
Well, I haven't played any yet, but I gotta be there just in case.
I have an idea.
Oh, you must be really bad.
Why don't you folks come and spend next weekend with us and maybe see one of the games?
Oh, we'd like to, Mary, but I'm not sure that we can make it.
Oh,
First, we have to explain to your father how we found him as a child in a crashed pod.
come on.
Oh, it's only 60 miles.
Well, we're bound to have a big snow one of these days.
Yeah, and if it comes, it might as well be 6,000 miles.
I know what these roads are like in snow.
Well, we'll keep the invitation open just in case.
All right. Oh, Dottie, dear, would you please get me the Bible from the cupboard there?
Sure, Dad.
Yeah? What? You're gonna read the Bible?
Granny and I have been reading along in Matthew.
Oh! Okay.
So tonight, suppose we just keep going, eh? Now, Bob, how about you reading from 626 to 34, huh?
Does Grandpa know that after Gutenberg put a few Bibles out, that people figured out that you could actually, you could print onto other books? If you're gonna do communal family reading, it could be something you probably haven't already heard before.
All right. Behold the fowls of the air.
I was hoping we could play Wii Bowling.
For they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto
Do
his
the one
stature?
about the horse emissions.
And why take ye thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his glory
That kid died in Korea.
was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith?
This isn't even a good story.
Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink?
Let's do a family reading of Twilight. I'm on board. Let me get my copy. I couldn't find my copy for the joke. That's unfortunate.
Or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
Lost my Twilight book. It's a shame.
Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Now let us pray, children. Dear Heavenly Father, may your words guide us. Help us to live as your dedicated children. And give each of us strength and courage for life, day by day.
Willikers, I sure had fun.
Glad somebody did.
Now, Jack.
Well, Gramps is a nice guy, Mom, but when he gets started on those remember whens and that corny idea of reading the Bible after dessert.
What's the matter with that?
Oh, Dad.
Now look, son, I've been raised on a diet of scriptures after dessert. Never hurt me when I was growing up.
When you grew up through World War I, World War II, and the Great Depression, like, I think you had a pretty bad fucking time.
Hey, why don't we do that too?
Yeah, it's just what we need.
Maybe it is, Jack.
I was only kidding.
I'm not. Maybe a little family worship wouldn't hurt you or any of us one bit.
That stuff's okay for...
My childhood guilt has been triggered by my parents who indoctrinated me into feeling guilty about not following our family religion. Womp womp.
Curse, but not for mealtime.
Well, if any of my friends heard we were doing it, they'd think we'd flipped.
Maybe you ought to change friends.
Now, look, everybody. We've had a nice weekend.
This dad just seems like a surly asshole. Get therapy.
Let's not spoil it.
All I said was...
I know what you said,
oh,
Jack.
for the love of Pete, Dad.
Now, look. I agree with your dad. We had family worship the first year we were married. Somehow we just got out of the habit. I think it'd be a good habit to get back in.
But, Mother...
Look, if there's the guys in the football team...
All right, forget it.
Now, Bob.
Look, if that's the way they feel, okay. I don't care what they do. I've got enough problems of my own to worry about.
Wow, you're like really bad at being a parent.
How about some hot chocolate?
Not for me, thanks.
I think I'll go up to my room.
Now, before you do, I've got something to say. You two kids better start giving a second thought to a few things that you've been taking for granted.
What do you mean, Dad?
Well, unless I get a new job pretty quick, you can quit worrying about reading the Bible after dessert. Because it may not be any dessert.
No dessert! Gasp! Okay?
There may not be a lot of things.
Dad, things can't be that bad.
Well, a possibility of a new job, but if it doesn't work out, you're going to have to quit school, Jack.
Quit school?
How much in the world could his college in the 50s cost?
We may all have to pull in our belts. So you might as well get used to the idea that it could happen.
Well, what about me? Does that mean I might not be able to go to college next year?
Means exactly that.
Now you know what's been on Dad's mind. We didn't want to worry you, but we're all going to have to pitch in and do whatever we have to.
I was literally going to say, he probably should have brought this up, because, like, the son could probably get a part-time job, at minimum. Like, come on.
Maybe I can get a job babysitting.
I don't think that'll be necessary yet, darling, but thanks anyway.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Well, I think it would be fine for the time being if we all, if we all tried to act more like a Christian family. And I'm willing to admit that I haven't been setting a very good example.
Back in the same hotel room. Why does this guy conduct all of his business out of this sketchy hotel room?
Hello, Mr. Hayes.
Hello, Mr. Cartwright. Come in.
Well, thank you.
Take off that coat. Let's be comfortable.
Well, you said you wanted to see me today, and since I was in the neighborhood, I thought I'd drop by.
Well, I'm glad you did. In the meantime, something has come up. I'm not quite ready to give you a final answer yet.
Oh?
I did want you to know this, though. Of all the men I've talked to so far, your name's at the head of the list.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hayes.
Okay, just fucking hire me then. What are we doing here? I need the goddamn job.
Wonderful.
You clearly need an employee. Let's do this.
News.
It seems that the Home Office has recommended several men very highly, and I have to go up north to interview.
Is he literally going to get the job because he's Christian? Which is illegal now. I don't know the legality in the 50s of that.
Them, so it's going to be a week or so before I can give you a definite answer.
I see. You going up north right away?
As a matter of fact, I'm going to mix a little pleasure with business. My wife's flying down tomorrow to join me for the big game.
Looks like it's going to be a real scrap.
My boy says he's expecting quite a workout.
Your boy?
Oh, I thought you knew. My son Larry plays left end for State U.
Oh? Larry Hayes? Well, I didn't know he was your boy.
We're pretty proud of him.
Oh, you have every right to be. I only hope my son does half as well. You see, he's a sophomore sub.
Is that so? Why, the two boys should know each other.
My boy's a great admirer of Larry.
I guess we'll both be out there sweating it out tomorrow.
That's
The grinder thing I said was just a joke.
for sure. Say, why don't you and Mrs. Hayes and Larry come over to the house for dinner after the game?
Oh, we wouldn't want to put you to any trouble.
Nonsense. We'd enjoy having you.
Well, we'd enjoy coming if you think it'll be all right with your wife.
She'd love to meet you.
That's a deal. And it'll give us a chance to get better acquainted, too.
600 a semester or for like a year worth of semesters?
So, besides extending them the hospitality of our home, if we all make a good impression on the Hayes family tomorrow, it'll probably go a long ways toward helping me cinch that job.
We'll put on the best dinner we've ever had.
And I'll remember to eat with my mouth
With lots of milk and other dairy products.
closed.
You know, it won't hurt me any having Larry Hayes over to the house either.
Oh, I'm just dying to meet him.
There's just one thing, dear.
What?
From what you tell me, Mr. Hayes is pretty sophisticated. I guess Mrs. Hayes is, too. From the way the house looks, some of the furniture, I just hope we can make the kind of
Oh my god, you're totally right. The Bible thing is gonna do it.
impression that will help.
Now, don't
That's
worry.
stupid.
Hayes is a big operator, but he seems decent.
And I find that so funny, too. It's not even... If that's the case, then the lesson isn't even, like, become Christian or be steadfast in your Christianity due to some sort of spiritual well-being issue. It's literally, be Christian for cultural cohesion, and then maybe there'll be some sort of weird Christian nepotism that'll get you a new job? Like, it has nothing to do with the religion, then? You know what I mean?
Decent enough. After all, he knows we're
Believe in God, and he'll get you more money.
not millionaires, or else I wouldn't be looking for a job.
Well, we'll polish the silver anyway and wash the best china.
Don't you worry.
A man vacuuming? I didn't know this was allowed.
Man, I'm so hungry I could eat raw turnips.
Me too.
Dad, does everything look all right?
Of course it does.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Oh, now, honey, you just quit worrying, huh?
Well, I can't help it if anything goes wrong.
I have no agency in our society, so if I don't get to go to college, well, I'm just gonna basically have to find any factory worker who will marry me, because I can't own property or a bank account. So at least she can go to college and find an educated husband. Oh god, the 50s were a nightmare. Oh, thanks for the $5 super chat. James says, thanks for what you do. Thank you for watching. I like your Doctor Who profile pic. I love Doctor Who.
Where are you all?
Did any Doctor Who fans see they're colorizing a First Doctor Dalek story for the 60th? Seems fun.
Mother, why didn't you let us know you were coming? Why, we figured we'd surprise you. Well, you sure did,
Grandpa.
Hello, dear.
This is a bad day to do this. Don't show up at my house.
Well, we're certainly glad you could make it.
Oh, well, we hadn't planned to come, but this morning the sky looked so nice and blue, we decided the weatherman was wrong about the blizzard.
So here we are. And don't worry anything about extra food, because we brought a lot of stuff from the farm.
Oh, and plenty of preserves, and a great big plum pudding.
This is one weekend we're all going to remember.
Yes. They're up in their room unpacking.
I never dreamed they'd show up.
Bob, what are we gonna do?
Well, honey, we can't ask them to leave. Hey, what happened?
You literally could. You could be like, hey, Mom and Dad, we appreciate you coming over. And if you have a guest room, you could even be like, and you can stay overnight and we can do dinner tomorrow. But tonight I have a business thing. So stay upstairs. Or here's $5. Go out to one of them moving picture shows. Like, I don't know. Fucking what?
Gramps starts spouting off, though.
What if he starts reading the Bible at dinner?
Look, the Hazes will think we're a bunch of religious fanatics or something.
Oh, I don't think it would come to that.
Well, Bob, it's true. We don't know anything about the Hayes' religious background.
Dad, look, you're just going to have to talk to Gramps.
You know, I'd almost rather cut off my right arm. Look, Dad, I hope you'll take what I said in a good spirit.
Well, I'm really sorry about you losing your old job, son, because I know it isn't easy looking for another. Well, we're guests at your house, and whatever you want us to do, we'll do it. But that doesn't mean that I agree with your way, son.
Look, Dad, I just can't risk letting a few Bible verses come between me and this job.
Well, is that as bad as letting a job come between you and Christ?
This is why the dad's like, this is why I'm voting for Goldwater.
No, but there's a time and place for everything.
Listen, son, I've learned that feeding our souls is just as important as feeding our bodies at mealtimes. The fact is that spiritual...
It's the milk of the soul.
The food comes first. Now, it may seem old-fashioned to a lot of folks, but there are certain things that are never out of date. And reading the Bible together is one of them. It just naturally keeps a home on a good foundation.
If I don't get this job, I won't need a foundation. We probably won't even have a house. Now, look, Dad, I'm sorry, but with Mr. Hayes here today, I just assume we didn't mention family worship.
Well, son, it's up to you. But I hope the day never comes that I'm ashamed of having Christ as a guest at my house. No matter who's around.
You know, Larry, I'll never get over the way you intercepted that pass today. You must have jumped 10 feet. If I'd had some of your grandmother's plum pudding first, could have jumped 20.
It's the best plum pudding I've had in years. And my wife is a pretty handy person in the kitchen, too.
Is this a secret recipe, or can I talk you out of it?
Oh, my, it's nothing. Just an old-fashioned pudding.
That's the trouble with cooking nowadays. Everybody's trying to outdo somebody else with fancy recipes.
Aspic this, gelatin that. I just want to eat gruel.
Me the old standbys every time.
Well, how about some more, anyone?
Oh, no, thanks for me. But it was the best dinner I've had in years.
I don't know when I've enjoyed...
That's a rude thing to say in front of your wife in the 50s, who presumably cooks regularly, because that's kind of how the system was at the time.
Enjoyed myself more.
It's been swell.
Well, we're just so happy you could be with us.
Yeah, it sure has been nice.
Well, if we're all finished...
Oh, just a moment, please. Mr. Hayes, perhaps you and Mrs. Hayes and Larry would like to join us in a moment of family worship.
This is uncomfortable. I know it's going to turn out fine because it's a propaganda video, but, like, it's still uncomfortable.
Yes, of course.
We'd be glad to.
Wait a minute. They're Christian in America in the 50s? Shocking.
Well, thank you. But to be honest, this is something we've neglected for quite some time.
Wasn't the United States like something like 90+% like white Protestant at this point? Like, what is he even worried about? This feels like a chick tract.
Somehow we got out of the habit. So I decided we ought to get back into it. Dad, would you read the scriptures, please?
Gladly. Oh, Dottie, dear, will you please bring the Bible?
Sure, Gramp.
See, at home, Granny and I have been reading from the Gospel, according to Matthew.
Here you are, Grandpa.
Oh, thank you, dear. Now, let's see. Perhaps Mr. Hayes has a favorite passage he'd rather have us read.
But, Gramps, you always...
If you don't mind, I do have a favorite passage. At home, we've been reading the Psalms every evening, and my favorite is the 100th.
Well, what do you know about that? It's one of my favorites, too. Suppose we just read it. See, it fits right in with my mood tonight. It's a psalm of praise and thanksgiving. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise.
We actually study a little differently. I'm part of this group called the Sea Org. I don't know, there's a friend of mine I'd like you to meet if you'd come down on one of our trips on the boat. I'm sure it'll be a fun time.
Be thankful unto him, and bless his name, for the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright. Bible reading's a regular part of our home life.
Mr. Hayes, would you lead us in prayer?
I'd be glad to.
This is so embarrassing.
Lord God, unworthy as we are, we now come to you in prayer. Thank you for the truth in your word and the strength that it gives us in our daily life. Help us to study it, to love it, and to follow it, that we may lead a dedicated life.
I still can't get over it.
You know, I never thought a guy like Larry would ever go for Bible reading and family worship.
Well, I don't know why anybody should be surprised that people like the Hayes have family worship. Just because a man is successful doesn't mean that he can't act like a Christian. The fact is, a person can never be a success in God's eyes unless he's a Christian in everything.
Hey, Dad, do you think you'll get the job?
I don't know, son. You know, it's a funny thing. I'm not worried about it one way or the other.
You should be.
This has made me realize how off base our family has gotten. And how out of tune we've been with God, and as a result, out of step with each other. Oh, there'll always be other jobs. But you're the only family I've got. I think we all found something that'll make us stay together as a real family. Well, regardless of what the future may bring. I think I know what to do about it, too.
You mean we're going to have family worship every day?
Would you like that?
Sure.
Yes, every child loves reading the Bible.
Can I pick out the verses for tomorrow?
And then we could all
I
take
found a
turns.
story where some bears eat children.
You know something? I think this is the best thing that's ever happened to our family.
Bittergrown with $5 says, remember, kids, saying you believe in Christ will bring you valuable networking opportunities. That was terrible. It was interesting, though. That was very interesting. How bizarre.
milestones of the century.
This one's only like 3 minutes, and then we'll watch like a chud thing, I think.
This monument at Kitty Hawk represents aeronautical progress. It honors man's first powered flight, which was achieved in 1903 by Wilbur and Orville Wright. Their victory stirred men's souls. And in the wake of the Wright brothers came the Wrong brothers. Here, one brother is missing. He tested this contraption the day before and is now confined to his bed. And now we come to the early helicopter, or haircropper. Don't lose your heads, boys. Just run for the hills.
That's scary.
In Detroit, the
Don't
first
do that.
umbrella helicopter made its bow. As light as lead and cast iron could make her, this undergrown carousel was supposed to jump into the air. Try this on your next hangover. In France, there appeared a new kind of copter, driven by a pair of oversized pinwheels. This aerial bucking bronco had the stability of an intoxicated chorus girl and required a ground crew skilled in the 100-yard dash. A gas bag and pilot were added for control. See the improvement? Now she falls.
Okay, so now it's basically just a blimp. You've invented a dirigible. Good job. Dr. Worm says, the nepotism is real. When I was first looking for a job as a teenager, I was told to mention that I'm Christian for a better chance. It worked. Ew.
Oh, straight instead of crooked. They called her the Flying Sausage, but to that perspiring ground crew, she was just a lot of baloney. This is how they got airsick back in 1921. Featuring the upsweep wing, this sturdy plane was designed for intercontinental flight. With luck, it might get across the street. In the early 20s, other Zero knots continued to perfect the helicopter. This French model got off the ground, thus establishing a new world altitude record.
I mean, better than the other ones.
This wooden eagle flew to pieces.
Why did people keep trying the flapping? Clearly the one that the Wright brothers built prior to this didn't flap. Why the flapping?
Chicago produced the Ferris wheel plane, which was tied down securely to keep its powerful motors from sending it into orbit.
Well, that doesn't work very well then, does it? Kasho Gladio with $5 super chat says, seeing people in America today get hung up over an extra dimension genie from an ancient Middle Eastern folklore will never not be very strange to me.
What grace, what power, what speed.
I understand that they're thinking bird. I'm saying that's dumb. To be clear, I understand that that's coming from a future perspective of hindsight. I understand. I'm being facetious.
What a mess.
Obviously, the dynamics and physics of, like, rigid wing flight and how it actually functions weren't understood at the time.
A fitting climax to aviation's also rans.
This is like a pickup artist weirdo.
So you have a boyfriend, and he's like, Steph, I love you. I think you're amazing. And when I am with you, I feel so happy. But I really want to kiss your feet.
Oh my god, that's very awkward, but I love...
I don't want to hear about your goddamn feet. This one is called Direct Game and Getting Scientific Feedback from Women After Sex.
There are many styles of game. Why do you think being direct is best?
I mean, like, first you have to understand, I don't think it's the best. It's like the holy grail of it. It really comes down to personality. You know, I would say what you like when you're starting, I believe actually you should practice and you should learn indirect game because it's much harder. Because it's kind of really like requires all your conversational skills to be on a point, and then I would say mid-level and like advanced guys should actually go to direct game.
Why don't you just be a normal human being? Why are you treating this like you're putting in a cheat code?
Why is
have a conversation at a bar or club or something, and if that person's interested in talking to you, great. If not, move on. What are you doing?
It's better. I think it's more in touch with who you are as a man, okay? Because you speak your mind, you speak your emotions, you speak your genes. You come to a beautiful girl, say, you know what? I don't know why, but I really like you. What's the name? Or you are exactly my type of a girl. And
you're coming on so strong. That's like, okay. Look, if someone is literally in the club looking to hook up or something, basically like Tinder or Grindr, but in real life, sure, that might work. Great. But at that point, you don't really need to learn pickup artist anything, because that's all manipulative bullshit. Just be a person. Like, what is this?
To know you. What's the name? So because it's really like, you're not playing against your emotions. You're not playing a game. You are being honest. You're being direct. That's why it feels natural. It feels like you go with the flow. Like it really feels good. Second thing why it's actually better than any other style that I played with, and I tried lots of it, is it starts with attraction. That boldness, that confidence.
Boldness, you say?
Confidence that you come there and basically you flip a lot.
I'm joking. That was mean. He actually looks fine.
Lots of things about you. She learns.
He just grosses me out because he's trying to teach dudes to manipulate women into sleeping with them.
Within 5 seconds, there is attraction. Within 5 seconds, this girl already knows something about you. You're confident, you're dominant, you're sexual, you know what you want, you are above her, not below her. Yeah, please, can I meet you? You come there, I am choosing you. It sets the right frame. And this is the most important part, what I really like, because it sets the proper frame from the get-go. From the get-go, you are saying, I'm the man, you are the woman. I like you. I choose you to be my girl.
Okay, so first of all, not every woman necessarily wants, like, a dominant partner. And even if they did, you're clearly doing it in a fake way in order to try and manipulate her. Like, there's a difference between guys who are... How do I put this? There's a difference between guys who are actually just confident, like, people, like, confident, like, self-assured people who are secure with themselves, and that reads, you can talk to some guys, and you just know, like, oh, they're very comfortable with themselves, they're confident, That feels like what he's trying to approximate. But this guy's trying to project some sort of, like, dominance that's artificial, that's not something that he is sexually. It doesn't feel like. It feels like he's doing it because he thinks it's a strategy, and that's gross because it's manipulative. You know what I mean? You can't artificially make yourself seem confident and in charge because the fact that you're trying to do it means you're not. Does that make sense?
Nice. So it's like you're making the decision instead of being very wishy-washy.
Exactly. Instead of like, oh, please like me, please like me, or, I'm running routines to create attraction, to be okay, can you please choose me? Here you're flipping the table. It feels the most congruent with basically what frame of a man is, what being a man is. Mm-hmm. I would say the only way how to create attraction in a proper way, and this is what I stand for. And the whole point of pyramid is the bottom. When a girl likes you because of who you are, your personality.
for sure. Because like if it's
That's just being a person. What?
based on what
Just being a person is finding people who like you. Like, and I'm not even talking sexually or romantically, just in general. Just human interaction involves being a person that people are at least okay with being around. What in the world?
one particular thing, like what you look like, you're gonna get old. So that has an expiration date, but your personality goes on forever.
That's the problem with the top of the pyramid with looks, money. It's like you are creating, basically you are putting all your eggs into the most unstable elements. Looks, money. You know how it is. Like today you have it, tomorrow you don't. Like, you have six-pack, don't go to a gym, you break a leg, don't go to a gym for like 2 weeks, it's game over.
The pauses in this
And
are...
when you run out
I'm
of
sure
money,
it's just like an internet thing, but the pauses feel so weird.
yeah, when you run out of money, she's gonna leave you with that because you used that in the first place.
So this is, that's why it's the stupidest and the most stupid form to basically rely on basically, getting women from this kind of society level stuff. The whole chat here, it's stupid. It's retarded.
Stop it.
You are, really, like, you are putting your success with women on the most unstable assets that you have. So the whole concept of direct game, of basically what I'm teaching nowadays, is attraction based on personality.
So perhaps...
So being a person, why would anyone pay you for this?
I could throw this in, because this was a very similar question.
Like, if you literally want to just learn basic social skills, you don't have to pay this asshole. There's probably YouTube videos on that. Because believe it or not, yeah, it's a pretty normal human experience. A lot of people are awkward in social situations, or maybe they didn't interact with other people a lot growing up like I did. Like other kids and stuff, especially outside of school, because I lived in the middle of nowhere, so there was no one really to hang out with. Or just like, for whatever reason, you have some sort of social misunderstanding or need some help. That probably exists resources for that. Don't pay grifters. Not worth it. Just be a normal person.
There are lots of videos pushing the idea that you need to be a Chad. You have already addressed part of this. You have to be 6'4", with a six-pack. You've talked about that.
No, that's not a standard the vast majority of people have. What are you talking about?
Already have a really large penis and all these other crazy...
These dudes work each other up into this stuff and convince each other that all women have, like, these weird, ridiculous high standards. First of all, no. The bar for, like, straight dudes in the United States is so fucking low. Do you know how many, like, dudes who should be single are with women because our society doesn't teach a lot of women to have, you can do better? A lot. A lot of really shitty dudes are with people. You don't really have an excuse. Just be a normal person. Calm down.
Things that all these crazy requirements that these random black pill men or whatever are saying. And these videos are all over YouTube, lots of content, lots of forums about this stuff. And so many guys are buying into this and thinking that they have to be like this non-existent person, Chad, a non-existent person.
Okay, so you're
what would you
pushing
say to guys
against
who
that. That's good.
watch these videos and believe these
So what are you doing here? What is the stuff written behind you? It should all just say, be a normal human.
Okay. Very simple. Go out there, do 10 approaches. In every approach, after 3 minutes, ask a girl, tell me your ideal man who you're searching for. Give me the qualities of the man that you want to meet, your ideal man.
That's a really weird thing to say to someone. If someone approached me and said that, I would say, What? Why are you asking? Leave me alone.
How would you know that you're getting a genuine answer? Because what
you won't be, because you're not starting a genuine conversation. You're starting a conversation with the sole intent of trying to convince this woman to give you her number or vice versa for a sexual encounter.
Someone says
you're asking for like genuine connection when that's not what you're there for and not what you're offering. You can't expect honesty and earnestness back when your entire reason for being in this interaction has underhanded motives.
Numbers game. Do numbers game. I have done this for like I think a year. Every approach in a year. And then I started, what happened? I start collecting, this girl, she wants this. That girl, she wants that. This, because I already, you start seeing patterns. You pretty much know.
You're looking for signal and noise. You can't take 50% of the entire human population and say, they all like this. That's not how that works. Women, like men, are human beings that have an incredibly diverse, set of interests, likes, personality traits, and physical aspects that they're into in a partner. You can't just say women like this or men like this. You can't generalize that much. It's unhelpful.
What they want, and that's basically how, because I know nowadays after like a year, I have done some crazy experiments. You guys cannot fucking imagine,
such as?
The stuff that I was doing. So I would say one of my best, I'm gonna give you, I think we wrote this for later for the topic, but I'm gonna give it now because it's good, one thing that completely changed my game was after every girl I slept, basically I did a whole game, I took her home, next morning amazing breakfast, there's no more ego. I'm like, okay, feedback time. Tell me, at which point, what did I said or do you start thinking about sex with me? What was the breaking point when you said, I'm gonna have sex with him tonight? What did I said? What did I do? Exactly moment. And she's like, when you told me this. Then next girl, when you told me this.
Okay, what were the things they said?
Next girl, when you told me this. You know how my game looked like 6 months later? Only those things.
Then what did they say? You're being so vague.
That got me late. I removed all the bullshit, all the fluff out from my game. It was only these things.
That's not a very scientific approach.
That got me late.
You're asking the right questions. You're asking very specific questions. What exactly did I say? What was the moment? Can you pinpoint?
What was the moment?
Precision.
Exactly. When you said in your head, I'm gonna sleep with him.
Probably the part where you called the escort agency and agreed to the price.
And trust me, they know it. And that information is like $1 million information.
So are the answers kind of different, or are there a lot of similarities?
It's very different, very different. When you whisper something sexy to my ear, when you, lots of things,
No, I don't know. That's why he's asking.
Lots of things, but I would say...
Lots of them, guys. Real ones. Tips from real women he really slept with for realsies. They're all in Canada, though. You wouldn't know them.
I manage, actually, I have Excel files somewhere on my computer. I manage to kind of categorize them, so I pretty much know. But basically, what I noticed is for every person, I cannot give you mine because it's not going to work. It's I'm doing this for the last 5-10 years with all my students and with lots of them, and what I noticed for each is different based on personality, the way he touched her, something. So I would say you need to create your thing, your file, and then stick on it, then be aware of it. After every night I came back home, like after approaching, like when I was still kind of developing myself, learning myself, like, you know, I kind of rewind all the conversations in my head, all situations, and I was like, let's assume this will happen again. What will I do differently? How would I, you know, kind of do this? You know, in a different scenario. Now, you know, kind of it's much easier to be like, you know, kind of captain after the war, after the fight. So like, okay, let's assume this will happen again, like, you know, sometimes in the future, and it did. What will I change? What will I do differently, like, you know? So, and that kind of, I would say I'm really good at fast pattern recognition. Like, you know, something, I think for most guys, something needs to happen like 3 to 5 times to see the pattern. For me, you know, kind of happens once, I'm like, okay, I guess this is gonna...
That's not a pattern! Seeing one thing is one data point. You can't make a pattern out of a singular data point.
Happen again. Let me develop a solution for this.
What in the world?
It doesn't need to happen 10 times for me to say, okay, like, you know, there's a pattern.
You're thinking of Mitt Romney?
Because the whole game, the whole life is just kind of pattern recognition. They're non-stop happening. Some patterns, some things are happening. And especially game. There's a limited number of mistakes that you can do in a day game, for example. There's around 300 mistakes you can do.
Only 300.
You do them all, that's it. You're getting close.
Jesus, that was awful. This is bizarre. You guys know that I don't generally like channels that are like, you know, they bait pedophiles into showing up and then they embarrass them on the internet. I was cool with like Chris Hansen doing this because it was with like the police and official organizations that did this stuff. So, you know, there was a higher chance of convictions and these guys actually getting caught. On the internet, however, not the case. They're not generally working with the police. So usually the people just get away. So that's annoying. Anyway, but this channel came up on my feed today and it is bizarre. It's apparently the same kind of like predator catcher type channel, but they basically play pranks on the pedophiles. I haven't seen this yet, but I pulled it up because I can't watch it alone. This is gonna be fucking weird. A lot of pedo sting videos on YouTube are so obviously fake. Who agrees to play the fake pedophile in your YouTube video? You know what I mean? Kind of seems like you'd get recognized. Hey, weren't you in that online video and you were a pedophile? What are you gonna say? No, I was acting? That's what the pedophile would probably say, huh? It is. His name is Skeeter something. Are these all fake? If so, thank fuck.
These men are trying to meet up with teenagers online.
I mean, it's pretty much, you know.
I will not do it again.
Okay.
If you catch me again doing it, then I say submit it. Okay.
They think they're talking to actual teenagers, but in reality, they're talking to an adult decoy posing as one on the other end.
I mean, you sent a full-blown picture and video of your to a 13-year-old girl. Okay, that's a federal offense.
Jesus, this Walmart has a large physical media section still.
It's right there.
Not only is it immoral and just downright disgusting, but it's illegal. And these guys know that very well.
You won't believe some of their excuses.
Why does a 13-year-old girl need to meet a 40-year-old man?
Because
For what?
I wanted to see if that's what her intentions were.
They come in all different shapes and sizes.
I'm Skeet Hansen with the Predatorial Investigation Unit. I'm Skeet Hansen with the Predatorial Investigation Unit. No, I'm Skeet Hansen with the Predatorial Investigation Unit.
I'm Skeet Hansen with the Predatorial Investigation Unit, and I hope you're ready for spooky season because this is some very scary that we're talking about here.
It's a peaceful autumn night in the city
Oh, I don't know if his name's actually Hanson. Probably not.
of Canton, Michigan. It's very...
Michigan? Where in Michigan?
It's a peaceful autumn night in the city of Canton, Michigan. It's very quiet. Almost too quiet. As the midnight hours approach, some residents are climbing into bed for a good night's rest. But others are online predators scouring the internet in search of teens who are home alone and vulnerable to solicitation. This here is former U.S. military veteran Dwayne. He drove about 30 minutes to meet who he thought was a 14-year-old boy that was home alone for sexual activity. But little does Dwayne know that he'll actually be meeting an adult decoy posing as a 14-year-old boy. And shortly afterward, he'll face the wrath of myself, Michael Myers, and the Canton Police Department when they
Oh, okay. Does he get arrested? Good.
show up on scene and question him further.
No, it's not a parody.
He first came in contact with the boy on a dating app. Shortly into the conversation, he told him that he was 14 years old. Dwayne then talks about how he'd like to perform oral sex on the boy and cuddle up with him.
There's gotta be no way this holds up in court, because they're not cops.
Get a load of some of the things he said in this chat log. I'm really 14 though, is that okay? Sure, if 49 is okay with you. You're not a cop or anything, are you?
Who says that?
No way, Jose.
Like, I'm glad that people like this often say stupid shit and get caught. Good. But also, it just makes me wonder, in their head, do they think they're gonna go, yep, I'm a cop, you got me?
Oh, maybe I could come over and give you a Oh, dang, I never did that before. And he even goes into further detail during a recorded phone call.
I'm actually watching Lucifer on Netflix.
Oh my god, that's scary. I meant to like go to church after I watched
Really,
that.
that's the voice, Ray.
Yeah.
Of course, then after you watch that, the church might burn down around you. That probably wouldn't be good.
No, yeah, probably not. I probably just won't watch it. I'll just watch I'll probably watch like Michael Myers or something.
Right.
Oh, what were you trying to do tonight?
Well, like I said, I mean, like give you a if you want, or I don't know. It's totally up to you. It's totally up to you. And I'm not gonna.
So you don't mind that I'm 14?
No, not really, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird, but not really, I guess.
Spooky season is upon us, and Dwayne is out here doing some scary but I'm making sure that it doesn't go without consequence.
It was about 7 p.m. on a Saturday night when we came across Dwayne on the Grindr app. Okay, he messaged the decoy first, of course. Shortly into that conversation, the boy did tell him that he was 14. Dwayne then proceeded to get pretty sexual pretty fast. And then he was very eager to find out, the address where the boy was living. Not even 4 hours later, after we first came across him on the app, he was at our sting house, ready to meet up with this 14-year-old boy. Dwayne was a bit of a fast mover, I would say. So when we first got to our Sting Motel, I guess, as you could call it, we found out that it was very, very small, not very spacious at all. Now we had to scramble around and find where we were going to hide the cameras. Okay, that was the first challenge.
Did you not think to do this prior? Isn't this your job?
Second of all, we had to figure out where we were actually going to hide out while Dwayne was talking to the decoy before I would come out and actually confront him. So we get the confirmation that Dwayne is leaving his house and he's on the way to meet up with this 14-year-old boy. And he was about 30 minutes out, I believe. And we finally get the text confirmation that Dwayne has pulled up to the location and is ready to walk on into the motel to meet this, who he thinks is a 14-year-old boy. At this point, there's nothing but sheer silence where we're hiding. Very intense moments. I mean, your adrenaline's pumping, your heart's just racing. And then we finally heard the door creak open. And then we heard our on-site decoy, Oma, greet this gentleman, Dwayne, to come on in, and shortly after we hear Dwayne's voice.
Trying to think how this camera's hidden. Looks like there's a towel. Could be under a stack of towels.
At least I parked in the right area.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
So what's up?
Not much. How was the drive? You used to.
Good.
That's good.
Try to get here as fast as possible, so.
Yeah, I was surprised. Most people like block me and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Because of the age, probably?
Yeah.
You actually look older than.
How do I look?
Probably about 16, 17. I mean, you're not quite 18, but, you know.
I'm getting there. My birthday's in 2 months, so I'm getting there.
Oh, yeah, slowly but surely. Yeah.
This is making me uncomfortable. I gotta get to the part where fucking the guy comes out. I can't watch. I can't. That's what I'm wondering. Like, how would a 14-year-old get a hotel room? You need an ID or a credit card, usually. Like, generally, you need to put a credit card or something on file.
You're fine. You're not worried you're gonna get caught?
So what?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm with the Predatorial Investigation Unit, sir.
Gotcha.
What's your name?
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Just have a seat from here. Dwayne, I have a couple of questions for you here.
Sure, no problem.
I'll just, let me turn this off here. So, Dwayne, what are you, what brings you
Why
in here today?
in the world do they just have a
Grinder.
Michael Myers?
Grinder.
I know it's a Halloween episode, but how is this a fucking Halloween episode?
And what on Grinder exactly?
Just
up to him. It's a bit embarrassing. And Dwayne.
Hawaii was my first one, then I went to Fort Hood and then Germany for that.
Gotcha. 18-year-old boy.
I still can't tell if it's... There's a car! That's a cop car! That's a real cop car! Might be real. Fuck me.
That's all we can really do. I really hope that Dwayne learned a valuable lesson here from this situation. I really do. He may have just been another predator that slipped through the cracks on our investigation, but he will not be forgotten.
Jesus.
That's for sure. There are many, many other predators out there just like him. There are many, many other predators out there.
Let's look at the cop uniforms in the room.
The boy asks what he would want him to do. He says, wouldn't have to do much, just let me blow you again, so multiple times. Then he talks about cuddling and watching TV, if you'd like, before I give you the BJs, what he says. And the rest is basically them just discussing.
I didn't see what you said, I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. No, we'll grab the phone for you. It's okay. Just follow me, Brenda, please.
Yeah, I don't know my ruling on that. Either way, the host kind of skews me out. Like, I get it. I understand. No one has sympathy for child predators, understandably so. But turning them getting arrested into, like, prank entertainment just feels very idiocracy to me. It feels dystopian in a weird way. I don't know how to explain it.
When it was Hamas, we labeled them.
Not win in Ohio last night. It was cheated. Vote yes did not win in Ohio last night. It was cheated, friends.
It wasn't cheated.
It was cheated. 30 days of cheating, okay? I don't know how I can help you understand that. There's the map. There's the map last night of Ohio, all right? Purple is the cities. Those are the people who voted. Now, most people live in Columbus. See, Columbus, Dayton, Akron, Youngstown, all the major cities. All the major cities.
Yeah, that's where most people live.
Why?
In cities, they're high population areas. Kind of by definition, they're more populated than rural areas.
They can cheat!
No, there's just more people there.
They can cheat!
Oh, right-wingers aren't doing great. I kind of wish I could bring Hofstadter to the future. When did Hofstadter die? Richard Hofstadter, when did he live? Died in 1970. I would love to see Richard Hofstadter's feelings on the current Republican Party. 'Cause holy fucking shit.
We do.
If we're going to be sending American troops and American military equipment and American...
Why do all these idiots think that land is what votes? Because they have to in order for what they want to happen. It's the same logic that brings people on the PP show into saying nonsense. Because that's what has to be true in order for the thing they want to happen. It's motivated reasoning.
$14 billion. I want to know what's in it for us. Now, I've had my eye on the Holy Land, Jerusalem. And I'm just saying, why do Christians not have a right to that land?
We do. I think that if we're going to start picking claims, I do think that Christians should control where Christianity came out of. I'd love to have control of the area where our Lord and Savior...
Are they familiar that, people... there are Christian Palestinians. Palestinians are not all Muslim. There are also Christian Palestinians. Not that it should fucking matter, but, holy fuck.
...was crucified.
Yeah, that would be
I think
pretty
that
epic.
this would be...
Yeah, let's intensify a holy war for stupid fucking reasons. That sounds great. Genocide, sorry, I shouldn't even call it a holy war. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, what's Mike Lindell up to?
Go to LindellPlan.com. Everything I have laid out there, you can check out the Election Crime Bureau. You can join the Cause of America. You can help out with resources. We need help right now. Yeah. We need help to get this plan done, even if it's $10 a month. And I didn't reach out for any money for 2.5 years. I didn't care. We got stuff to do. I just kept pouring my money into it. Now I have to do what I do best, and that's be a salesman. You're putting your money into the best bang for your buck to save your country of any time in history since 1776.
Best bang for your buck.
Is supported by Pfizer. Okay, that's a contrary wind.
We'll see the most conservative Congress in my lifetime out of Mike Johnson. I mean, the most conservative House. And I would also say that, for my fellow evangelical Christians, this is the highest ranking, serious, biblically trained person with a clear Christian worldview, a person of that category, the highest ranking government official we've ever had in my lifetime.
They hate America because we were founded on the inerrant Word of God and the promises articulated in the Word of God. The book of Deuteronomy was by far the most quoted book in the founding of America by America's founding fathers. By far, secular or religious book, by the way. This idea of charity, defense of the innocent, separation of powers, independent judiciary. They don't just come ex nihilo out of nothing. They were an outgrowth of the Word of God.
They came out of Enlightenment thinking. The general philosophical and political movements throughout the era that also informed the French Revolution. What the fuck are you talking about?
Your views about Jews do not differ from Hitler's at all. If somebody wanted to make you look bad, that was the question to ask, since you can't give an optical answer without lying. Read MK, it's good.
Well, hey, I really appreciate that well-meaning super chat. But here's the trick. One, look, I'm not obsessed with Hitler.
You talk about Hitler all the goddamn time.
Trick. One, look, I'm not obsessed with Hitler.
Yes, you are.
I really don't even know that much about him.
Fuck off. How many times have we shown clips of Nick talking about how he loves Hitler and how he wants to be Hitler?
So enough of this cowardice, enough of this, you know what, you're a Democrat plant. We don't like Hitler. It's like, you know what? Well, I do. Well, I do. Okay? And I'm
That's Nick Fuentes.
Well, I don't think that their well-being. I agree with you that liberalism is a poison. I'm not a liberal, and I think that liberalism has poisoned the well for white people, but if you look at white kids, there's nothing, I don't think, intrinsic in white people that makes them hate themselves. Like, when I was a kid, kids loved Hitler in the sense that we see the videos and we see the propaganda and the symbols, and there's something compelling about it just on an aesthetic level.
No, there isn't, you fucking, like... Fascism does have an aesthetic that is attractive to authoritarian personality types and people who don't know better, who are under certain stressors that make them more likely to be moved by cult-like, conspiratorial, fascistic whatevers. But no, by and large, especially post-World War II, where we have a greater understanding of the inner workings of fascism and authoritarianism propaganda and how it works, no, you should be able to see past that shit and make informed decisions. Even as a child, you should know better than that. Jesus. He sucks ass. Okay, what else we got? Sex Madness. Did we ever watch? I know we watched Reefer Madness. I don't think we ever watched Sex Madness. Down through the ages has rushed a menace more dangerous than the worst criminal, syphilis. Let us seize this monster and stamp it out forever. In its horrible influence, syphilis must no longer play its deadly part in our lives, preventing marriages, breaking up families, and resulting in innocent offspring born blind, diseased, and maimed. Doomed to a life of misery. The subject of syphilis must no longer remain hushed, but must be fought in the open like any other dangerous, contagious disease. Humanity must be enlightened. Ignorance must be abolished. Young and old, rich and poor. They must be told. It's about syphilis.
I think the police department are entirely too lenient with these vicious exhibitions of sex.
You're entirely right, Henry.
What's that even mean?
I don't see what's happening to our youngsters today.
I see that philanthropist, Paul Lorenz, and his committee are doing a wonderful work. He'll soon clean up this filth and educate the youngsters towards a better life.
The joy out of life. Why don't they reform themselves and give us a chance to get a little innocent fun once in a while? I'm going over to Jane's house. They'll probably try to stop me from doing that pretty soon.
Yeah, I don't know when penicillin was
It can't be that James
discovered
is
in widespread
in
use.
entertainment.
Impetuous youth, Mother. He's like all the rest. Now, don't worry about
No, that would have been
him.
before
He'll
this.
be all right.
That would have
I
been
hope
before
so.
this. At least I'm pretty sure. Oh, bad camera work. Jesus. It's literally just... Oh, it's so not smooth, too. Ugh.
Finish to this, Betty. The principal objection made by the commissioner was when Sheila Wayne removed her last bit of clothing and walked off smiling to the audience.
You must have plenty of it. I wish I could do that instead of slaving in this office.
I'll bet you could. You do have plenty of it.
Think so? Say, I wonder
Were they roommates?
if I couldn't be a striptease queen. What's she got that I haven't got? How do they do it? Zip. Off. Zip.
See, what do you say we go and see her tonight? It'll be great fun.
All right, let's plan it tonight.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna make sure this is fine. It probably is, but I'm gonna double check out of safety.
Darling, tonight.
It's just women dancing. It's like showgirls type stuff, but very tame because it's the 50s.
You can phone home and say you're staying with friends.
Like chorus line dancers, basically. Yeah, they're doing nothing that's even close to, like, scandalous. Hold on. This is what they're talking about. It's just like a fucking musical review. Scandalous. Like, literally, you could go and see this at, like, a fucking Disney thing. That's so funny. Looks 40s. Take me your doubloons, thank you.
All right. Phew. Another grand performance under the belt. And do I need relaxation?
Oh, I'm tired. Me for bed.
Bed? Did you say bed? That's not to relax in, that's for action. Gosh, it was taking my clothes off when I come into the theater, putting them on again, taking them off for the customers, putting them on again, taking them off.
I'm pleased, Sheila. Besides, I'm very tired tonight.
Oh, sure. I'm tired every night until I get out, and then I want to go to town.
Oh, well, and now listen. You go ahead and enjoy yourself. I tell you what to do. You take Alice Carter with you. You know, she's lots of fun. So I'd only spoil your party.
Well, I guess that's that.
Behold, Alice Carter in person. Did someone mention my name?
Sorry, I keep expecting it to get scandalous, but, like, it's from the 50s. I know it's not, but, like, it's got that tone that scares me.
Party on tonight.
Well, will there be plenty of girls there?
Oh, there'll be lots of girls.
Okay, baby. Would you like to come along? Yes, why don't you come along?
Come on, let's
Come
go,
on,
dear.
come on, Lana.
Oh, I'm
Please.
sorry, boys, but I have a previous appointment.
Oh, please,
Oh, no. Good night. Have a good time.
Okay, Sid, and thanks for the message, honey.
None of you know what the clitoris is, much less where to find it. Why would you want to go home with any of you?
Power to help you. But how are you feeling tonight, honey? Oh, not so well. Oh, my dear. Here I am gossiping, and I forgot all about a special delivery letter that came for you this evening. Oh, that's the second one today.
Is that in Jersey,
That boyfriend
Rhode
of yours
Island?
must be very lonesome for you. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Jonas. Oh, I must go to see Elizabeth. Good night. Happy dreams. Good night, Mrs. Jonas.
What's the letter say? Wow. She and I have very similar noses. Is this from the 30s? Jesus. Look at our distinguished giant fucking Pinocchio noses. That's good. It's good to know that in the 30s, I too could have gotten syphilis from a sailor on shore leave.
Why did I ever leave you?
We were just talking about clothes. You know how we girls are.
Women be shopping.
Are you having a good time? I hope so. These boys are having a good time.
I'm sure of that. And that's how she met the traveling salesman. Come on, honey, let's go have another drink.
When are they gonna fuck?
Fortune.
She dances divinely, doesn't she, senorita?
Oh, lovely, senor. Oh, and how do you like my Spanish?
Well, it's much better than mine. See, I know such few words.
Oh, but we must keep in the
So she catches syphilis.
You may not be entirely...
Sure, yes. Not an aspect of the disease will be left. You'll even be...
Oh, good. Penicillin. Hooray.
It doesn't come cheaply. And that leads up to what I have in mind. A multiple serum treatment. Absolutely new in medical science. Expensive, but the advantages are great. In short, this treatment will make it possible for you to marry within 30 days.
Oh, doctor, you may not be entirely...
Sure.
And obviously marriage is the most important thing in her life since she has no rights.
Yes. Not an aspect of the disease will be left. You'll even be fit for me.
You know, doctor, you quite sure that within 30 days I'll be able to marry?
The day of days you've been waiting for. Marriage, children. And the cost is $100. And it's worth 10 times that.
Okay, so she gets married.
Take off for the day and you'll be all right. I'm pretty discouraged.
Well, it takes time for my baby. Well, children, your youngster has all the earmarks of the cases recorded in this medical book. And while I hate to tell you, you must know the truth. The truth, Doctor? The truth. Your baby is syphilitic, and one or both of you are the cause. What in God's name are you talking about?
Okay, so I'm guessing it's him, but she's worried about it, and the baby just needs medicine.
First, I want to thank my father that his fight against the follies of youth.
Charlie Chan. Yikes. Plan 9 from Outer Space. That's public domain. From Edward D. Wood Jr. Not as good as Glenn or Glenda.
That is why you are here. And now, for the first time...
I love him. It's time for his prediction. Criswell.
Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives.
I genuinely think that's a great line. We should all be interested in the future, because it is where you and I will spend the rest of our lives. Beautiful.
And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future. You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious,
pulls
the
the string. Where's
That is
Bela?
why you are here. And now, for the first time, we are bringing to you the full story of what happened on that fateful day. We are giving you all the evidence, based only on the secret testimony
We get it.
of the miserable souls who survived this terrifying ordeal. The incidents, the places. My friend, we cannot keep this a secret any longer. Let us punish the guilty. Let us reward the innocent. My friend, can your heart stand the shocking facts about grave robbers from outer space?
It was renamed to Plan 9 from Outer Space before the film was released. I believe at the behest of the financiers who were religious. They were religious fundamentalists, I think. They thought Grave Robbers from Outer Space was too vulgar a title. Why do we want to save the universe? I'm one of the idiots that lives here. I'm more of the, in the beginning the universe was created, which has since been deemed a very, very bad idea. Whatever the line is from Hitchhiker's Guide. This has made people very, very angry. Oh, here's some of the only footage of Karloff in the movie. Is that? You know, yeah, his face isn't covered. This has got to be one of the scenes with him.
Know that there is a time to live, and that there is a time to die. Yet death is always a shock.
Is this the one with the detective intentionally waving his gun around to see if Ed Wood would tell him to knock it off? I'm trying to think. It's either this one, or that's like the Atomic Superman one. I don't remember which.
To those left behind. It is even more of a shock when Death, the proud brother, comes.
Race of Atomic Supermen!
Suddenly.
You're right, Lugosi. Did I say Karlov?
Without warning.
Yeah, it's Bela Lugosi.
Just at
This is his final motion picture appearance. This is one of the only shots he's actually in.
Sundown.
The rest of the movie, they have a different actor playing the same character who just covers his face with a cape.
A small group gathered in silent prayer around the newly opened grave of the beloved wife of
Bride of the Monster with the Atomic Superman. Thank
an
you.
elderly
That's the one with the pull the string too, right?
man.
No, is Pull the String in Glenn or Glenda? I'd have to watch Glenn or Glenda again.
Sundown of the day, yet also the sundown of the old man's heart. For the shadows of grief clouded his very reason. The funeral over.
The airplane set's great. There it is! The airplane set!
15 to 4. Yep, right on schedule. There's the old San Fernando Valley out there now.
You better radio in for landing instructions, Danny.
Right, Jeff.
Glenn Glenda, Glenn Ross. I understood that.
Over.
HRT is for
Surprise
closers.
Me if sleep this time of the morning.
American Flight 812, this is Burbank.
She had planted.
Another one of the only shots with him.
With her own hands.
The premise of this, it doesn't really matter, is aliens bring zombies, corpses back as zombies in order to facilitate destruction of the Earth because they're afraid of us or something. I don't remember the plot very well. Glenn or Glenda's wonderful, and I love it. I really wish it came out on Blu-ray. It's public domain. You'd think it was on Blu-ray somewhere, but I don't know if it is. We've watched this a long time ago, but it's been forever. This is like... This is the earliest, like, pro-trans film I can think about. And its conception of, like, transness, or let's even just call it gender nonconformity, is different than our current understanding of it and the way we talk about it. But it's still, for the time, really good.
Then comes the major surgery, the removal of the man and the formation of the woman. A woman born at the age of 24.
A new life is begun.
Even Glenda gets bottom surgery before me. God damn it.
The body of the woman within begins to appear now. The world is shocked by a person who changed his sex. Thus, the strange case of Glenn, who was Glenda, one and the same person.
Ed Wood plays the titular role here, so this is Ed Wood, the director and writer, starring as Glenn Glenda. If you don't know Ed Wood himself, and I'm using he/him pronouns because, while I have suspicions, he never himself came out and said, you know, he's trans, because the nomenclature wasn't the same back then. He might have just enjoyed cross-dressing, which is fine too. But Ed Wood did like to wear women's clothing. That's a pretty well-known thing. And he made this movie. So, I have my suspicions about Ed Wood. But, you know, whatever.
Not half man, half woman, but nevertheless man and woman in the same body. He dares to enter the street dressed in the clothes he so much desires to wear. Glenn is engaged to be married to Barbara. Glenn's problem is a deep one, but he must tell her soon. She's begun to notice things. Soon she will realize. He learned that foreign doctors were doing marvelous work with a sex change. Man to woman, woman to man.
Say, did you
Christine Jorgensen
read about the guy that had his sex changed to a girl? Says he was perfectly normal, too.
How can a guy be normal and go and do...
I gotta find a ton of stuff before I do the bottom surgery. First of all, some of the GoFundMe stuff, it wasn't just for bottom surgery, that was part of it. It was a transition fund in general, so a lot of that's gone to my electrolysis, my hair removal, which has been great. I'm getting so close to done on that, which is nice. But I also have to get my letters together and find an actual doctor, because the doctor I was looking at for the bottom surgery, a woman just came out and just lambasted the doctor and said terrible things about him, and it's not the first bad thing I've heard. I'll say, Kuzan, Dr. Kuzan at the University of Michigan. Apparently bad. So if you're looking for bottom surgery, I've heard stay away from him. So I have to find some other place that's going to do it and find a doctor that has good reviews and stuff. Yeah. Apparently, Kuzan has continually used older methods that are less effective and out of date because, you know, I think he's an older doctor. You know how older doctors and surgeons have that thing where, like, if they're, like, full of themselves enough, they'll just stop trying to learn new techniques? He feels like that. So, that's a shame. But, I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Do a thing like that to himself.
What about their children, Doctor? Would their children become the same way their father is?
Glenda has made the decision. If the newspapers had not gotten hold of the story, it would have gone untold, unnoticed as so many others in medical history. Why is the modern world shocked by this headline? Why?
Do you realize what would happen if every man in the country that wanted to wear women's clothes or felt like a woman went to their doctors and wanted a sex change?
Glenn and all the hundreds of thousands of other...
Is this edited? Just feels like I don't remember the first part having such weird editing.
The Glens across the nation face quite a problem.
I'm so sorry, Jen. That sucks. I haven't watched the series yet, Dark Beast. I'm going to. I have the first 2 seasons right there. I have them. Yeah, the idea that imagine if all the men who wanted to wear women's clothes went to get surgery is, like, a very, like, what thing to say? Like, you know that, like, generally cis men don't feel that way, right? Like, if you think that that's a genuine huge thing, you're probably an egg. Like, what the fuck? Like, cis men don't have a constant want to not be men. Is this literally just the trailer, like, before the movie or something? Oh, weird. That was the trailer before the movie. Why? Why did you show the trailer before the movie? I was so confused. Hey, Bela.
Man's constant groping of things unknown, drawing from the endless...
It's so interesting to me, too, the idea that, like, gender nonconformity is of such societal concern to some people that literally this story that's just about a trans person is framed with Bela Lugosi, who, again, like, I'm trying to think of even an appropriate, like, imagine if you sat down today for a movie about a trans person and the narrator was, like, Robert Englund. That's not even a good up-to-date example. Who's a famous horror icon that's more modern? Maybe Tobin Bell from the Saw franchise? I'm trying to think. Imagine if there was a movie about, like a trans person and their transition. It was framed with, like, horror imagery and theming, and the opening and narration was done by a horror icon. That's what this is. It's so funny.
Reaches of time brings to light many stars.
I really do like Glenn or Glenda. It's a fun movie.
Things.
Nah, because it can't be Chucky. Like, he's not playing Dracula here, though he is most famous for playing Dracula. He also played Frankenstein's monster in some of the sequels. He played both, which is interesting. He never played the Wolfman, I don't think.
Startling, because they seem new, sudden. But most are not new to the signs of the ages.
Brad Dourif would be good. I like Brad Dourif. I think he's based. The current UK governor making Boris Johnson look progressive on trans people, and he was a guy who made racist comments hella casually. Woof. I know, I understand. I've seen the movie Ed Wood too, where they talk about it. He's like a narrator. I understand. He pulls the strings. He's the puppet master. I understand. It's just a badly constructed film for the most part. What was the religious movie from earlier? It was like, is God in your home or something from the 50s? Let me see if I can find it. I'm not sure. I can try and get it for you later, though. I found it through Something Weird, which is a website that saves a lot of old footage. Lots of porn, but, you know. Is Christ in your home? Thank you, Nemesaur. It's actually interesting. I plan on covering them sometime. I gotta cut out the lewd stuff. But they do actually have some really old archival stuff about trans people from, like, the 50s. And I do want to check that out. But I'm pretty sure there's some... illicit material in those, but I would like to see the parts that aren't porn just because I'm curious. The depictions of the trans people, probably not great, considering it's basically fetish porn from the 50s, I'm thinking, but still probably interesting and a part of LGBT history, even if it's not a good part. Do you really do that, Corvus? I know you've done timestamp things, but the fact that you're writing it down is so nice. I appreciate you. Anyone in the community who watches or likes videos, people who do the, like timestamp stuff, Halloween Town, of course, who's been setting events and stuff in the Discord for me, just, like, here all the time for mods and stuff. You guys are awesome. Overthought, who's, like, done music, Cassifel, who's, like, done art. Everyone who's ever participated, whether just watching or, like, giving creative things or whatever to the community. I appreciate you so much. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Until you added the secret ingredient. Chemical E. Just a drop of cat girl. What have I done? The cat girl, it's everywhere. This is Glen or Glenda, a film from, let me actually get the year, about trans people. (1953). So 70 years old. Is it the 70th anniversary? This year is the 70th anniversary of Glen or Glenda. Holy shit. Sci-Fi Gal says 1958. What I saw said 53. Let me double check now, because now I'm double guessing myself. That's not what I wanted.
Oh, that's the second one today.
Hold on. Let's see what year. 53, 53, 53. They all say 53. Cross-dressing, not trans. I say trans because the film talks about it both ways. And frankly, no, Glenda has a sex change, or what we would now call a gender confirmation or affirmation surgery. This is from, again, remember, it's from 1953. They did not understand these differences back then. And even now, they're kind of arbitrary taxonomic categories. And that's not to say there aren't differences. There are different groups that identify differently. I'm just saying our concrete categorization of gender nonconforming people that exist today didn't really exist in the 50s. So it talks about them very fluidly. Ironically. Huh. Gender fluid joke. Anyway. So to be clear, Ed Wood cross-dressed. This movie is about Glen or Glenda, though, who is trans. I have my suspicions about Ed Wood, but again, he's dead, so there's nothing really to do about that. Is it a different character that does it? Let's just watch it. It's been a while since I've seen this.
People.
Ed Wood was a cross-dresser.
All going somewhere. All with their own thoughts, their own ideas.
Yeah, I like the Internet Archive. I use it. Did they ever deal with the copyright issue? Is that still in danger of going down because of that, or was that issue resolved?
All with their own personalities. One is wrong.
I have to pee real quick. I'll be right back.
one is right because he does wrong. Pull the string.
I feel like the blanket term for anyone who's not cis would be like gender non-conform. Well, I usually hear gender non-conforming as the general term. Because I don't think trans fits like people who are cross-dressing, because they're not transgender. You know, they enjoy wearing the clothing of the opposite gender for some I guess I don't fully understand cross-dressers, like, and nothing against it. I just have never talked to someone who is, so I guess I don't know what they get out of it. If it's just a fun thing, just makes them feel nice. If it's a sexual, I don't know. I really don't. But to me, my understanding is it doesn't fit trans. The package of fancy cheese may have gotten here, but it's probably at the P.O. box. I'll have to make sure it gets picked up soon.
Dance to that.
Pull the string. God damn, he liked stock footage.
A new day is begun.
I'm gonna make this baby so fucking trans, he thinks to himself.
A new life is begun. A life is ended.
Oh, I'm very familiar with his stock footage usage. This isn't the one where we get the buffalo, right? That's Bride of the Atom with the buffalo stock footage, or is it this one? Who let the fucking photographer in? Fuck off! The corpse isn't even cold!
See that note?
The records will tell the story. I was put in jail recently. Why? Because I, a man, was caught on the street wearing women's clothing.
Okay, yeah, I do remember this. Okay.
This was my 4th arrest for the same act.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous that back in the day that was a fucking crime, and even more ridiculous is the states that want to bring it back. What the fuck?
In life, I must continue wearing them. Therefore, it would only be a matter of time until my next arrest. This is the only way. Let my body rest in death forever in the things I cannot wear in life.
Inspector Warren is here to see you, Dr. Alton.
Oh, yes. Show him in, Miss Stevens. Inspector?
Doctor?
Sit down.
Thank you. You're a very busy man, Dr. Alton, I know. I appreciate this time you're giving me.
Business or pleasure, Inspector?
In a way, business. From policeman to inspector. 20 years of it. I guess I've seen everything there is for a policeman to see.
Yeah, Ed Wood had like a group of people he put in a lot of his movies. A little bit like John Waters, except less successful.
Yet I wonder if we ever stop learning. Learning about which we see. Trying to learn more about an ounce of prevention. I'm a man who thrives on learning. We only have one life to live. If we throw that one away, what is there left? Doctor, I'm hoping to learn something from you. And with that knowledge, maybe save some human from a fate.
Like, it's trying to be, like, you know what I mean? It's 53 and they're trying to be sympathetic to, like, gender non-conforming people, trans people, whatever.
Which I just witnessed a few days ago. A 4-time loser. This type of case comes to me as well as yourself many times during the course of one
Again, to be clear, there's going to be problematic shit. It's just so much better than you would assume for the era.
month.
The suicide?
The suicide.
Most of us have our idiosyncrasies.
This fellow's was quite pronounced.
Yes, but I wonder if it rated the death warrant it received. I don't think so.
Well, that's why I'm here today, Doctor. What do we do about it?
I've always heard you to be a hard-hearted policeman, Inspector.
Isn't that what's thought of most policemen? The laws are written. The policeman is hired to see that those laws are enforced. We have a job to do.
I was only following orders?
As in most jobs, there's always somebody who doesn't want that job to be done. In most factories today, the employer has put up suggestion boxes. Even the employer needs advice once in a while. I think in the case that we're referring to, I need advice. Maybe it shouldn't have happened as it did, but it did. Perhaps the next time we can prevent it.
Let's get our story straight. You're referring to the suicide of the transvestite?
If that's the word you men of medical science use for a man who wears woman's clothing, yes.
That used to be the scientific term for what we would now consider trans women, generally, or trans people in general.
Yes, in cold, technical
Not these days.
language, that's the word. As unfriendly and as vicious as it may sound. However, in actuality, it's not an unfriendly word, nor is it vicious when you know the people to whom it pertains.
Would the sex operation do these people any good? I understand you were quite prominent in a case that hit the headlines a few weeks ago.
In some cases, yes, others, no.
Well, the papers certainly had a field day with that one.
Strange as it may seem, even though it was a field day, as you so aptly put it, it's not a new story. Sex change has been performed many times. Those whose sex can be changed, they're the easy ones. But what of those who so desperately want to be of the opposite sex, yet can't change their sex? Such as was the case with Patrick, Patricia, the suicide.
I'd like to understand this, Doctor, as best you can tell me.
You can only fully understand the sex change by taking two entirely different cases. Two men with exactly the same background, from childhood to manhood and on to their own decisions and destinations.
Jen Graham says I had my dentist use that term for the Bud Light trans woman. Thankfully, he doesn't know I'm trans, because that would not be fun. Is this person still your dentist? You might want to move dentists if you have a choice. I know that's not always the case, but if you can, I probably would.
I'd like to hear the story.
I wouldn't want someone who I know is at least vaguely transphobic having sharp tools in my mouth or near me.
To the fullest.
Just be careful.
Only the infinity of the depths of a man's mind can really tell the story.
Dr. Martin. A young man, though he is, speaks the words of the All-Wise. No one can really tell the story. Mistakes are made. But there is no mistaking the thoughts in a man's mind. The story is begun.
One might say, there, but for the grace of God, go I. Why is the modern world shocked by this headline? Why? Once, not so very long ago, the people of the world were saying...
That's Glenda. Sorry, I kept picking the wrong person.
Airplanes. Why, it's against the Creator's will. If the Creator wanted us to fly, he'd have given us wings.
But we fly. Maybe some of you may still remember an even sillier remark.
Automobiles? Bad. They scare the hosses. If the Creator had meant for us to roll around the countryside, we'd have been born with wheels.
Silly? Certainly. We were not born with wings. We were not born with wheels. But in the modern world of today, it's an accepted fact that we must have them. So we have corrected that which nature has not given us. Strangely enough, nature has given us all these things. We just had to learn how to put nature's elements together for our use, that's all. Yet, the world is shocked by a sex change.
If the Creator had wanted us to fly, he'd have given us wings.
If the Creator had meant us to roll around the countryside, we'd have been born with wheels.
If the Creator had meant us to be boys, we certainly would have been born boys.
If the Creator had meant us to be born girls, we certainly would have been born girls.
Are we sure? Nature makes mistakes. It's proven every day. This person is a transvestite, a man who is more comfortable wearing girls' clothes. The term transvestite is the name given by medical science to those persons who wear the clothing of the opposite sex. Many a transvestite actually wishes to be the opposite sex. The title of this can only be labeled Behind Locked Doors. Give this man satin undies, a dress, a sweater, and a skirt, or even the lounging outfit he has on, and he's the happiest individual in the world. He can work better, think better, he can play better, and he can be more of a credit to his community and his government because he is happy. These things are his comfort. But why the wig and makeup? He dares to enter the street dressed in the clothes he so much desires to wear, but only if he really appears female. The long hair, the makeup, the clothing, the actual contours of a girl. Most transvestites do not want to change their life, their bodies. Many of them simply want to change the clothing they wear to that is worn by the opposite sex. Glenn is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl.
Those fingernails have got to go.
You know, I didn't realize they're as long as they are.
My goodness, they're almost as long as mine. Maybe even prettier. We'll have to paint them sometime just for the fun of it.
We'll trim them.
That's for sure.
You know, honey, you've invited me to dinner so many times in the last couple of months. It's almost like we're married already.
I wish we were, darling. It's been a long year.
For both of us.
But now, my studies are through, college is concluded, and I'm free at last.
Free? For the time being.
Huh? Oh. How about joining me for an after-dinner drink?
The living room?
Mm-hmm.
Modern man is a hard-working human. Throughout the day, his mind and his muscles are busy at building the modern world and its business administration. His clothing is rough, coarse, starched, according to the specifications of his accepted job. At home, what does modern man have to look forward to for his body comfort? The things provided for his home, a wool or flannel robe, his feet and...
I feel like Ed's just describing his own dysphoria and he doesn't know this isn't universal. That's sad.
Cased in the same thick, tight-fitting leather that his shoes are made of. These are the things provided for his home comfort. It doesn't look so comfortable, does it? And get the hat. Better still, get the receding hairline. Men's hats are so tight they cut off the blood flow to the head, thus cutting off the growth of hair. 7 out of 10 men wear a hat, so the advertisements say. 7 out of 10 men are bald. But what about the ladies? Yes, modern woman is a hard-working individual also, but When modern woman's day of work is done, that which is designed for her home comfort is comfort. Hats that give no obstruction to the blood flow.
He just wants to wear pretty hats. I don't even blame him.
Hats that do not crush the hair. Interesting thought, isn't it? Just for comparison, let's go native. Back to the animal instinct. There in the lesser civilized part of the world, it's the male who adorns himself with the fancy objects, such as paints, frills, and masks. The true instinct. The animal instinct. Bird and animal life. Is it not so that it's the male who is the fancy one?
This is just racism.
Could it be that the male was meant to attract the attention of the female? What's so wrong about that? Where is the animal instinct in modern civilization? Female has the fluff and the finery, as specified by those who design and sell. Little Miss Female, you should feel quite proud of the situation. You, of course, realize that it's predominantly men who design your clothes, your jewelry, your makeup, your hairstyling, your perfume. But life, even though its changes are slow, moves on. There's no law against wearing such apparel on the street, as long as it can be distinguished that man is man and woman is woman. But what is it that would happen were this individual to appear this way on the street? You're doing it now, laughing. Yet, it's not a situation to be laughed at. Thus, the strange case of Glenn, who was Glenda, one and the same person, not half man, half woman, but nevertheless, man and woman in the same body, even though by all outward appearances, Glenn is fully and completely a man.
Sister, let me borrow her dress.
You want to borrow your sister's dress? What for?
I want to wear it to the Halloween party.
There are names for boys who go around wearing girls' clothes.
Oh, don't be silly, darling. You go ahead and wear your sister's dress, Glenn. You always did look much better as a girl than you do as a man.
Glenn did wear the dress to the Halloween party. He even took first prize. Then one day it wasn't Halloween any longer.
I wish I had the sight into such things to be able to advise you, Sheila. Maybe if you took the problem to a doctor.
It's Glenn that needs the doctor. But when things like this go wrong with someone so close and in your own family, it's so hard to believe.
It's not really hard to believe. It's just hard for you to accept.
Well, of course it's hard for me to accept. Suppose I were to come home with Roy or one of my other boyfriends some night and find Glenn like I did last night.
Yeah, that would be hard to explain.
That's the understatement of the year. Just how does one go about introducing your friends to your brother when brother's wearing your best sweater and your skirt and makeup to boot?
Glenn is not a homosexual. Glenn is a transvestite, but he is not a homosexual. Transvestism is the term given by medical science to those persons who desperately wish to wear the clothing of the opposite sex, yet whose sex life in all instances remains quite normal. Would you be surprised to know that this rough, tough individual was wearing pink satin undies under his rough exterior clothing? He is. Then there is your friend the milkman who knows how to find comfort at home.
I can't stand it any longer. He wears all my clothes. Nothing is sacred to him, even my briefs.
He has every one of my sweaters stretched out of shape. Of course, he has always replaced them. But then, they didn't last long either.
But, Your Honor, ruffles on his shirts and shorts. Really?
Glenn and all the hundreds of thousands of other Glens across the nation face quite a problem. Glenn is engaged to be married to Barbara, a lovely, intelligent girl. The problem? Glenda, Glenn's other self. The girl that he himself is, his other individual personality.
You look tired tonight, Glenn.
Yeah, I guess I am. It's been a long day.
Have you seen the paper yet?
No, why?
It's headlines. A man had his sex changed to a woman. Isn't that a strange case? I wonder how some people's mind works.
Well, some people aren't happy the way they are.
I suppose so, but to change one's sex, that's a pretty drastic step to take.
If it's the only way, I'm for it.
I wonder what I would do in a case like that, if I were in the mental turmoil that person went through. Or if I suddenly realized that something was mentally wrong with you. Ooh, it's hard to visualize. Here we are, two perfectly normal people.
Probably upset at both at the
Lead a
time.
normal life together. And there's this poor fellow who never could have been happy if it wasn't for modern medical science. Our fourth term in psychology explains a lot of the facts, but I'm afraid the end of study is only the beginning of reality.
Glenn's problem is a deep one,
that line?
but he must tell her soon.
The end
She's
of
begun to
study
notice
is the
things.
beginning of
His
reality.
nails, his eyes when he looks into a lady's store window. So many of the little things that are hard to hide. Soon she will realize. Then there was the time Barbara was wearing the sweater Glenn had always wanted to feel on his own body. It was becoming an obsession to him. He must have it.
What's the matter, Glenn, darling?
I guess I was daydreaming.
Something seems to be troubling you. Why don't you tell me?
It's nothing.
Once, long ago, just after we started going steady together, we promised we'd never lie to each other. Are we gonna start now, just because we're engaged to be married?
It's just that... Oh, Barbara, it's nothing. That little sleep won't cure. It's been an awful long day.
It's more than that. Come on, tell me, darling. Who knows? Maybe I can help.
That's just it. You could.
Then something is troubling you.
Yes.
Do I have a right to know?
You have a right to know. But let's just say for the moment that I'm afraid to tell you. I'm afraid I'd lose you.
Nothing could be as bad as all that. I love you, and you love me. And nothing in the world can change that.
I'm a communist.
I hope not.
Directly to jail.
I really hope not.
Glenn, is it another woman?
There it is. There's the Buffalo B-roll.
Hold the string! A mistake's made.
A story must be told.
Always the same. He's not had the nerve to tell her. But he must soon come to some conclusion or forget the marriage. Should he tell Barbara of his Glenda now, before the wedding, or hit her between the eyes with it after, when it might be too late for either of them? The world is a strange place to live in. All those cars, all going someplace, all carrying humans which are carrying out their lives. The world is shocked by a person who changed his sex. Glenda is shocked also, but by another reason. Someone like her had the nerve to do something factual about their situation. There are so many problems for Glenn and all the other Glens. Perhaps the fear of discovery of the underthings they wear beneath their regular outer clothing, or that which they wear during their nightly visit to Morpheus, god of sleep.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure she's going to enjoy it very much. If you want to return it, be sure that you bring the sales slip. Thank you. Can I help you, sir?
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette.
90.
Oh, well, what size?
12.
The color and the material?
Black? I'm very sure.
Just a minute.
Ah, yes, I have that exact thing right here.
Well, we have this here. Would you like that? Something like this? Has lace?
Yeah.
Perhaps he admires the material too long.
You can see how sheer the material really is.
Yes.
You see, it's all pure nylon and only $21.95. And of course it
oh,
will
wow, that's actually a lot for back then. Holy shit.
never snag.
It's odd how this is a mix of silly misinformation, outdated information, and an undertone of genuine feeling of compassion for a stigmatized group. Oh yeah. It just feels like there's empathy, maybe more, depending on whatever was going on with Ed Wood. We know Ed Wood was into cross-dressing, so at least that. I don't know. It's just sad. It just makes me think of, like, throughout human history, how many trans people have gone through their entire lives, lived and died, and just had no idea what was going on and why they felt so uncomfortable, or if they were able to figure it out, they couldn't articulate it to people because they'd be, like, outcast. And to be clear, there's a lot of societies where it's been normalized and it isn't a stigma and stuff, but I'm talking, you know, the lineage from, like, the United States to the UK and back and back and back to that sort of, like, Protestant Christian stuff.
But Glenn,
oh yeah, there's internalized, like, shit going on for sure.
Glenda and all the Glens and Glendas have an even bigger problem. The homosexual, it is
oh no!
true, at times does adopt the clothing or the makeup of a woman to lure
Oh.
members of his own sex.
No.
But this
No.
is not so for
No.
the transvestite.
No.
The transvestite is not interested in those of their own sex. The clothing is not worn to attract the attention of their own sex, but to eliminate themselves from being a member of that sex.
Hi, Joe.
How you doing?
Monday again.
You know, I think Monday is about the worst day of the week. A perfectly wonderful weekend, then back to the sweatshops.
Too bad he was born to work. Say, did you read about the guy that had his sex changed to a girl? Says he was perfectly normal, too.
How can a guy be normal and go and do a thing like that to himself?
All the same, it must take a lot of guts to pull a stunt like that.
That's a problem I don't ever intend to face.
Maybe it's a problem we should all face.
I don't get you.
Just think of the unhappy life. The miserable time this world of ours must have given that poor guy.
I still don't get you.
Now, here is a guy who wanted to be a girl. Supposing there had been no way to change his sex.
You sound as if you're really head up on this thing.
I guess I am.
Do you realize what would happen if every man in the country that wanted to wear women's clothes or felt like a woman went to their doctors and wanted a sex change?
Do you have something you want to talk about, sir? It's fine. This is a judgment-free zone.
Of course. That's why I say perhaps society should be a little bit more lenient with them. Maybe society should try to understand them as human beings.
Another day done. Thank goodness. See you tomorrow, Jack.
Yeah. So long, Joe.
Until tomorrow.
Hi, Glenn.
There's a
Hi,
cut.
Johnny. Come on in and hit it right for the kitchen. I can't let that dinner burn. You know, I thought I was going to have to eat alone tonight.
Well, you probably will because I've already eaten.
What's up?
Nothing much.
Yeah,
Say,
that's the vibe I got from the
you really
steel
look
worker.
down in the dumps.
I guess I got a problem.
Haven't we all?
I mean a real problem. One like I've never had to face before.
Our whole existence is one big problem after another.
I want to get married.
You have a problem. When did this all come about?
For nearly a year, I've been engaged to a very wonderful girl. Now the time is getting very close to the man with the book. I'm scared to death.
You love her?
Very much.
Does she love you?
Yes.
There's no problem. Marry the girl.
Are you forgetting about my other self?
You'll have to tell her, of course.
Oh, does he not even care? That's nice.
Yeah. I have to tell her. But when? Before? Or after?
I think you know the answer to that one yourself.
My mind's in a muddle. Like in a thick fog. I can't make sense to myself sometimes. I thought I could stop wearing these things. I tried, honestly, I tried. I haven't had a stitch of them on for nearly 2 weeks until tonight. Then I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to put them on or go out of my mind. I'm afraid I'll lose her. I don't want that to happen because I really love her.
Okay. Here's a story from fact.
Johnny tells his story. He had not too long ago been married himself.
Okay, I am very much of the... Ed Wood just projected and assumed every man was secretly cross-dressing, right? That's the vibe I'm getting. Ed Wood took his feelings and projected them outward and assumed, like, half of the men in the world were secretly cross-dressing or something. It's both sad and interesting to see how Ed Wood was kind of processing his own stuff and how it is clear in his work. Sucks a lot.
He'd kept quiet about his transvestite desires in the hopes that the new wife would never discover it. However, one day, the little woman came home unexpectedly an hour early.
What is she mad about?
Here. Will your problem be like mine? Most probably it will. Because a love hasn't been built up for such a thing. She, your wife, she will not have been taught enough about the problems to cope with it.
Glenda must now make her decision. Or forever forget the marriage to Barbara. Glenda should consult a competent psychiatrist, but then very few transvestites wish to change their strange desires. This is their life. To take it away from them might do as great a harm as taking away an arm or a leg, or life itself. Many even carry their transvestite desires to the grave with them. Yes, it is a problem. But Glenda, remember back almost a year ago when Glenn and Barbara accepted each other?
That's the 6th time you've said goodnight.
I guess it is. Look. Come on over here a minute.
What is it?
Never mind, just sit down.
The devil dream sequence is weird.
Oh, I was beginning to think you'd never get around to it.
Did you mean you will?
What do you think?
When?
I must finish college first. It's only 7 months to go.
Well, now, that's hardly long enough for you to get a trousseau together.
How would you know about such things? Glenn, what's the matter?
Huh?
All of a sudden, you seem 1,000 miles off.
Yes, I guess I was, huh? That's a mighty pretty dress you're wearing tonight.
I wear my best to please you.
You know, when you look at me, you just tie me in knots.
I love to tie you in knots. Oh, I'll be so happy when these next few months are over.
Some special reason?
Of course. So you can stop kissing me goodbye at the door every night.
Yes?
So you can hold me close to you always.
Yes?
Then all you'll have to do is call and close your eyes to feel my lips on yours.
Beware. Beware. Beware of the big green dragon that sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys, puppy ducktails, and big fat snails. Beware. Take care. Beware.
The trans ally Satan. He's pretty great. Dutch angles. It's unnerving. Tiny chickens come out. Do you eat them like regular chickens? I know about the usage of Dutch angles. It was really prominently used in, there's like a Twilight Zone episode, I want to say it's Perchance to Dream, that uses a ton of the shadows and Dutch angles in their dream sequences. It's a metaphor, I get it. Gender is whether or not you can lift a tree off your fiancé. Gender is not what is in your pants. It's whether or not you can lift a random tree branch inside your dream home off of your fiancé. Yes! I fucking love the trans right Satan! I love him! He's so good!
Tell me, dragon, do you eat little boys?
And there's like a weird sex scene that I gotta skip. This happened when I came out, too. Satan looks better now, though. He started moisturizing, and it's helped a lot. What? Boo! What for? A policy violation. Let's see. This, Ed Wood is public domain. Okay, sorry. Just you seem. See how long it takes for it to go back up. I'm back. Cool beans. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. This movie's in the public domain, and it's already on YouTube. That's literally where I was watching it. But, you know. YouTube's being a dick. So anyway, Ed ends up, or Glenn, I think, ends up getting like a facial feminization surgery, and happy ending. Alright, what else we got? Trans rights Satan's fault. It's true. Probably true. I know, I didn't show the sex scene. I explicitly skipped over it. Very strange. Whatever.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to Morant's Rants. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I want to talk about an article that I read yesterday. It was from David Modell. Now, David Modell went out there on Twitter, was bragging about his article that he wrote for Investor Place, and it says, "Don't touch it. GameStop's the next hot potato, or treat it like a hot potato." I'm sorry, David. The article that I read felt rushed. It felt like you were given some information and some headlines, and you put them out there because
literally, GameStop is only going to go down from here, probably. That's my opinion. But its valuation is still really high relative to everything else. Please stop. Its fundamentals do not justify its current price, in my opinion.
you basically quoted Michael Packer and Nick McKay the whole article. And if you're going to do that, you're going to write an investor piece, a hit piece for Wedbush Securities, you got to know the history of the stock, of the environment, and of course the people you're writing about. When you talk about Ryan Cohen, and you said that it was like coronation day for his followers and supporters when he became the CEO, i.e., it was just going to happen because no one wants to work with him. This is crazy. You got to think about the history of who he is. You want
a loser Nepo baby who started an unprofitable business with other people's venture capital and then sold it and used that money to parlay into Apple stock, which he still gets millions of dollars a year in dividends from? You mean that guy? He's not a business genius. He had daddy's money.
Want to talk about all the ties to Chewy for the board of directors? Well, then let's go ahead and talk about Mark Vadden, the former CEO of Chewy.com, who actually beat Amazon over the last 25 years in jewelry.
Again, Chewy didn't make money when he was there. I still don't know if they're profitable. They certainly weren't when he was working there. Bragging about an unprofitable business is not a gotcha. It just shows you don't understand the point at all of anything.
In women's apparel, in children's apparel, and then you go to the pet food products and now gaming. You don't have to win all sectors here, but I promise
he has won 0 sectors.
You this.
In terms of profitability and sustainability of a business model, he's not done anything successfully.
GameStop's winning. It's the #1 destination for all gamers. Now, when we talk about...
No, it's not. I think that's Steam. What are you talking about? You think most people get their video games at GameStop? Kids probably still go there to do trade-ins, because kids don't have a lot of, like, cash, unless they get a decent allowance, which a lot of I never got an allowance, so I don't even know. Do kids really get allowances like you see on TV shows? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm sure kids go to GameStop, but, like, the majority of the gaming market are adults now. Like, the biggest games that come out are usually rated at least T, if not M. The majority of game sales, I would argue at this point, Nintendo stuff is more likely going to be a combination, but I would say adults are buying most new video games. And they buy them digitally. Most of the time either on, like, the Xbox store, the PlayStation store, or Steam. Maybe they use the Epic Games store. The idea that, like, adults are regularly going to GameStop to buy video games, some people, I'm sure, do. It's not common. It's not common. And I say that as someone who used to. I was a person who went to GameStop all the time when I was younger. Whenever I was in the area, I'd go to GameStop because I'd trade stuff in and get stuff. You guys know I'm a collector. I collect movies. I don't really collect games, though back in the day I liked to have them. So I did trade-ins and stuff. I used to be, you know, someone who used to go there and liked the store. I don't anymore, and from what I've seen from other people who discuss this with me or in general on the internet, the overall view of GameStop is that it sucks and the employees get treated like shit and they constantly undervalue your trade-ins and try and push things onto you like warranties, pre-orders, really annoying pushy sales tactics, which are not the fault of the workers, by the way. This is stuff that they're told, you have to push this or you're gonna get fired, you know? It's just absurd that he thinks there's this central community of gamers, whatever, that love GameStop. I just don't think it exists. I think the primary group of people who like GameStop are people invested in it and probably young kids. It's about it. Like, I don't foresee a huge market of, like, gamers just clamoring for GameStop to come back into stores near them. I just don't get it.
About Ryan, is he a failure? Well, then Larry Chang must be a failure too, and Alan Adams.
Okay.
And anyone else on this board of directors.
They can be a loser in this scenario. I don't know much about them outside of this scenario, and it doesn't really matter. GameStop is GameStop. I'm not talking about those people personally. Ryan Cohen's a different story, because I know a little bit about him at least, and know he's never run a profitable company. There's not much more to say about it. He's all flash. He's got nothing. The thing that propels him is you guys. Specifically, your mythologizing of this man has turned him into something he's not and has never been.
Don't just pin it on Ryan. But
According to Forbes, Chewy became profitable for the first time third quarter of 2022 due to more people getting animals due to COVID and WFH trends. And I don't think he was with the company at that point. He had already sold to Petco, I want to say. I've talked about this before, but basically, with venture capital money, he started Chewy, an online pet products business. And he ended up getting ahead and gaining market share by undercutting the competition, undercutting to the point where they were losing money on like everything they sold, which isn't a way that you can have a sustainable business. However, if you get enough market share and hurt your competition enough that it costs less money to just buy you out than it is to actually try and compete with you, it's a thing you can do. It's not in any way a way to build a profitable or long-lasting business, but you might get a payout after, you know, you sell off your useless, valueless, fucking unprofitable company. Presumably, whatever, the Petco or whatever it is, they have probably cut things down and integrated the system into their supply chain, which has probably helped with costs. Also, the price may have gone up. I don't know, though.
Your hit pieces are written this way because you're taking the bylines from Michael Pachter and Nick McKay. It's okay. I saw the whole article, guys. If you guys didn't watch it, it's right here. Okay, I'll give him some pub right now. This is what it said, and it said GameStop is not a buy. Avoid it. Don't touch it. Treat GameStop stock like a hot potato. Now, I would reference this article, but there's no point. There's no point.
You're making a whole video about it.
Because if we're talking about an IPO being launched today, and the company has zero debt, zero corporate debt, and they...
Okay, I understand they have no debt, and that's awesome. That's great. They have cash on hand. Also awesome. This does nothing for their fundamental business model. What are they going to use that cash on hand for to build something? Because right now, Ryan Cohen's just cutting employee benefits, hours, number of employees in general, number of stores. What is he doing to actually increase cash coming in? The NFT thing didn't work. This player launcher they want to do, no one wants. I just don't get it. I don't understand the thought process.
They have tons of money they could borrow against their ABL facility. And
borrow to do what?
Let's just say they
continue to not make money year over year?
They had $1.2 billion in the bank, $300 million of that, which is marketable securities. So the interest made off of that per quarter, around $15 million.
Okay, so are they just a stock holding company now? Is GameStop just going to be a weird mutual fund that you have stock in? It's supposed to be a functional business. Again, what do you think this is?
Could offset any...
It's like they treat it like a crypto coin or something.
Operational losses. We're in an economic downtrend, and yet GameStop's still performing at a high level. They're going to be on a break-even format right now.
Oh shit, guys. The store that he's been invested in for years is finally breaking even. Not even really making a profit. Just not losing money? Holy shit, guys. Investors famously love companies that don't make a profit. Woo!
Trailing 12 is going to get you about $1 to $2 million of profit on the trailing 12, which people think it's going out of business. They think it's failing. It's not going anywhere. And what can you tell me? That you did the math wrong? Michael Pachter knows this. Nick McKay knows this. We know this. GameStop investors. But if you haven't studied the stock for the last 3 years...
That's fine, Kitsune. I'm going to be done soon anyway.
What are we talking about, David? How do you do an article that's just rushed? That's what it was. For anybody...
What do you mean it's rushed? What the fuck are you talking about?
Who knows anything about GameStop? We read that. We're like, oh, this is just another hit piece. Let me tell you.
Everything that disagrees with me is a hit piece.
Some, David. So the media is controlled.
The media.
We know this. Stocks are controlled by private equity, and the development of your company can be stunted by private equity. But you can't.
It can also be propelled by private equity, which is exactly what allowed Chewy to get where it was in the first place, to be in a position to be bought out. GameStop currently is literally existing off of the liquidity handed to them by private equity, by you guys. Like, what do you think is happening?
Stop this.
Night Kitsune.
It literally is called GameStop. You can't stop.
Oh, fuck yeah, Maru-sama. That's awesome.
Stop this. Picture this. You put out all this information, and you're telling everyone not to touch it. It's terrible stock. It's terrible company. But who gave you this? Who gave you this narrative?
The fundamentals of the company and shifts in the market for gaming, both accessories, hardware, and software.
I know exactly what this company is.
Like, literally, the new PlayStation doesn't come with a disc drive unless you buy it separately. Like the PS5 Slim or whatever. And the new Xbox also doesn't have a disc drive. Like, I like physical media, but even I recognize that games are moving away from that.
Yes. And so do you. So does everybody else. This is the Cinderella story of your lifetime. And you have the opportunity to try, right?
It's not a Cinderella story. This price is still overvalued.
I mean, I do. But when I see things like this, I think about it like this, okay? The initial impact of the news. Bam! It comes out. GameStop, going to the moon.
For reference, like, when GameStop was at the height of its profitability, this was like the Wii, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. This was like peak physical video games. Not only were, you know, the Xbox 360 and the PS3 incredibly popular, the generation of the Wii alone was huge because it brought people who weren't normally gamers into gaming, you know, stereotypical parents and grandparents buying a Wii so they can play Wii Sports. So GameStop would pull in people like that even who would go in and be like, I like Wii Sports, what else do you have? Or I need a remote for that bowling game, you know. So at that time, I think their stock was at, let's actually take a look. So that would have been like 2000 and roughly this era, I think. So the stock at its height was $15. Oh, it did finally dip below its high. Oh, thank fuck. It was 15, it was trailing over that for a while, but most of the time during the Wii, it was in the $8 to $12 range. It's still on the higher end of that range right now. And the company hasn't been profitable for years. They have profitable quarters, usually Q4, or a quarter where a new console comes out. But that's about it. The company has been on a downward trajectory for decades. People are interested in games digitally. If they want accessories, you can usually get them other places now. Even if it's not online, you can go to a Walmart and buy video game accessories. I just don't see it. I don't see a big box, like, category killer like GameStop existing. Why? Why would it?
Rockets!
Their primary business model, the thing, for those of you who don't know, that they've made most of their money on, historically, are used games, because they have a huge margin on those. And that market's dried up. At this point, I think hardware is their #1 seller, which is not good for them, because hardware, new ones only come out really every 4 to 8 years. If we're talking about mid-console refreshes, closer to 4, even 3, but most people don't get the refreshes.
Yes, and then they tell you other stuff. You know, there's AMC, there's Bed Bath & Beyond, there's Mullen Automotive, there's Carvana, there's Party City. They want you to touch every other stock but GameStop.
No one told them to buy Bed Bath nor Party City. What are you talking about?
Now, everyone out there's been making articles saying don't buy GameStop. I've seen...
Right, it's in response to you guys.
This same article over the last 3 years 100 times, 1,000 times.
And over the last 3 years, the price has continually dropped. So those articles were correct that if you had continued to buy GameStop through this period, you would have continued to throw good money after bad and lose and lose and lose and lose. So the articles weren't wrong. You see how you just pointed that out?
I'm not joking. Literally, see.
What's a refresh? Like a PS2 Slim? Yeah, like the Slim consoles, or like the Switch OLED, stuff like that.
In the same exact article you just
Night Gen
wrote, but yet you're some earth-shattering news? No, it has a numbing effect after a while. It doesn't do the way you thought it would do, like this euphoria feeling of like, I got him. No, we all just look at each other like, another one?
Do you think that that's how people feel when they write articles about how weird you guys are? It's not a gotcha. It's just a job.
Another one. David, it doesn't have the same effect. The diminishing returns on the effect, let alone the stock. I'm just telling you. You want to have an impact? You want to do something different, David? You want people to go ahead and say, you know what, you wrote a great...
But the stock is at a low since 2021. He's right.
Piece?
Why are you booing? He's right.
Do the positive story, not the negative one.
Tell lies that make me feel good. Stop with all this truth that's bumming me out, man.
That's my point to you. If you were to come out and say something positive about the company, you'd be...
What's there positive to say about the company?
It'd be amazing how many people would come over and be like, you know what? That guy knows what he's talking about. But don't...
If you would just suck up to my group of sycophants, we'd like you. If you consider that's not the primary goal of this writer, to be liked by you specifically.
Don't do it about the short squeeze. Don't do it about market manipulation. Don't do it about rockets and naked selling, short selling. Don't do any of that. Talk fundamentals to me. Talk dirty to me, David.
Okay, fundamentals. Digital games are already the primary seller. Most games are bought digitally. The trend has been continuous. GameStop's highest profit margin items were always used games, which they will not be able to sell anymore as things continue to transform into digital. Also, their other selling items, the Funko Pops, nerdy shirts, bullshit, that whole, like, 2010s nerdy MCU fanboy, fangirl aesthetic is passé now. Funko Pops are going to become an entirely new geological layer on Earth, and 10 million years from now, some future ecologist is going to wonder why under the mantle there's like a whole layer of weird Jim from The Office figures. They're such fucking garbage. What are they going to do when they can barely hold on to break even now after they have already cut down and cut and cut and cut and cut and cut? The market's going to continue to get worse for them. Then what?
Tell me that
There's
you read
just
the
no
balance sheet.
future.
Do you understand what shareholder equity means and how this...
Yes, you own shares in this company that has a lot of liquidity and no future plans for growth.
Is propped up on straight cash, and they're not burning cash.
Okay, let's imagine for a second that my name is GameStop. Hi, I'm GameStop. I won the lottery. It's the idiots on the internet pushed my stock price above $400 for stupid reasons. So all of a sudden, I have $1 billion. I'm GameStop, and I have $1 billion. And every year, I lose money. But I had that $1 billion every quarter. Maybe some quarters I'm up, most I'm down. And the downs are always bigger than the ups. That money I'm holding is just going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink until there's nothing left. That's a bad business model. All you are doing is putting the company on life support. So if you would like the company to be worth something fundamentally, it can't just be an ethereal concept tied to the liquidity. It has to be a functional, profitable business moving forward, because that's what investing is. It's making bets on the future profitability of a company, which you seem to not understand.
And then go look at that side of the business and come back to me. Be like, you know what? Nintendo's up, Sony's up, everybody's...
Yeah, you know why they're up? Because not only do they design games and put out systems, but they also own proprietary game stores, the Nintendo eShop and its various subscription services. Microsoft owns Xbox Live and Xbox Games Pass. Nintendo, I already said Nintendo, Sony has the PlayStation Store. Their stocks are up because their game sales are up and profitable because they're selling things digitally on their own proprietary storefronts. A thing that GameStop is not capable of doing. Even though they're trying to do their, like, game launcher, they're still going to have to give most of the cut to Nintendo, which isn't going to be on it, but, you know, Sony, Xbox, whoever the publisher of the actual game is. This idea that, like, these are comparable in any way are so stupid. Nintendo is not in the same business as GameStop. They both have to do with video games. They both sell video games. So if you squint, you might say, these are comparable, but they're not. Their business models are entirely different. They do different things.
He's up, gaming's up in general.
Like, this would be like saying, oh, this supermarket must be doing well because they sell Kraft mac and cheese and Kraft Foods is doing great. Like, that's not how this works. Just because you sell the products of some other company doesn't mean that if one company or many companies who sell your products or sell products that you stock are up, that doesn't mean you are doing well. How does he not get this?
Go look at Best Buy. They're up 9% on entertainment alone. That's gaming. So why is Best Buy...
Best Buy is cutting out Blu-rays and DVDs as of next year, which makes me sad. But it is what it is, you know? I saw that coming. They're gonna do the same to video games. Video games will stop being sold at Best Buy within the next 10 years. It might take a while. It'll take longer than Blu-rays and DVDs. But already the physical games are shrinking and you're seeing more and more hardware, accessories, and just gift cards.
Buy trending up. Why is Walmart trending up? Why is games...
Because they have profitable businesses.
Stop trending up. We're telling you why. You're lying to yourself, and whoever told you to write the article, well, they made you look like an ass. And I'm here to remind you of it.
Jesus, this
GameStop,
is embarrassing.
It's undefeated, and it will be. And I'll still be here. And then I'll write the article that says I told you so. GameStop, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. David, do the unthinkable. Write a positive article. Peace.
Be involved in a company that has things that are to be said about it that can be positive? I just don't know.
Foil tonight with Pang. We love having him on the show, man. Always a great dude. Dealy Nas with the 2. I came. All right, right on. All right, Chad, please
right
give
on.
a warm welcome to these fine gentlemen.
Thought he was stopping making videos.
All right, what's going on? We got Carrie Kings, and we also got Pang. What's up, man?
Oh, he's wearing a tinfoil hat, literally.
Good to see you guys. Oh,
Okay.
shit, we forgot about Sloppy there. Sorry, Sloppy. All right, right on. Great to see you guys tonight. Why don't we take it over to Carrie Kings first? Carrie Kings, what's going on, man?
Hello?
Carrie, you there?
AFK?
Twitter and stuff.
Executed and debated with grace.
What do you think?
They executed and debated with grace. I loved it. It's good.
They really did, yeah.
They did, and
Right.
I'm just blown away by how Jake 2B can like recall like dockets from like January, February,
It's
like
fucking
whatever.
nuts,
yeah,
man.
yeah, whatever he needed. It's like,
Yeah.
and then he can recite like the SEC and like I don't know how many different codes he's got. Like there was like tax codes and stuff he came up with. And
I
I'm
know.
Just, like,
It's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like fucking mind blown. So
The
I'm actually
tinfoil stuff
trying
is a
to,
defense mechanism similar to their use of shill. I don't know what the actual term for this, but there's a defensive thing you can do where you sort of lampshade what you're doing. You make fun of it first, therefore it takes the punch away from someone else levying that criticism against you. So for instance, this is something that I've done in the past that isn't super healthy, so I try not to do it anymore. but self-deprecation, right? Like, if I think that someone in an argument or debate is going to say something to me that's like an ad hom about my looks or being trans, on occasion I've like self-deprecated first to get ahead of that because it takes power away from whatever they're trying to do. So in the case of this, the tinfoil is because they know that they're doing conspiratorial nonsense, but if they lean into it, then it's a joke that they're all in on, and they can always, any failures of the tinfoil, they can just wave off and say, oh, that was ironic, we're just doing that for fun. See, it's a joke. Look, we're in on the joke. He's wearing a tinfoil hat. We call it tinfoil. Haha. So they take it seriously when they think it actually bolsters their argument, but as soon as that same piece of information, that tinfoil, is disproven, they'll go, oh, no, we were just joking, and move on to the next thing that they're taking seriously now, but as soon as it's proven wrong, no, that was just a joke. See, we're joking, ha 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 ha. It's a defense mechanism. Schrodinger's douchebag, yeah. Same thing with shill. They call anyone who isn't, like, on their side a shill, so if you don't think Bed Bath & Beyond still exists, you're a shill. Anyone who disagrees with them and points out they're wrong is a shill. They do this because what they are doing is shilling. Shilling, by definition, if you don't know the definition, shilling is like someone who pretends to be an uninterested third party, but in fact is secretly trying to convince you to buy something. That's what they're doing. They're trying to convince people, at least were trying to convince them to buy Bed Bath & Beyond. You can't now. But, you know, that was like their whole function. So calling everyone they don't like shills is a preemptive way of getting the community to not take it seriously when they get called shills accurately.
Like, reread it or rewatch it, re-listen it several times just to get more detailed into the play. Even though I have like 200 pages of notes.
Oh my god.
I still can't recall how he does, whatever he does. And what's up, Michael? It's been a long time,
up,
man.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Holy crap, your skin is amazing.
Yeah, I know. He looks good on this like 4K upgrade, man. Right on.
Oh my god.
So we have a little bit of a
Michael always looks like he's in pain.
A tin
like it's like he knows this is all bullshit. It's sad.
Foil that we wanted to share with you as well. I don't know how often you've been watching the PP show as of lately.
Dude, every day.
I've been watching it a lot less, honestly.
Man,
okay,
I just haven't.
It's just not as interesting anymore. Like, it's just the same thing. This is gonna hobble along for a while. At this point, I'm just looking at my watch, waiting for the Pulte meetup, because that's probably gonna be funny.
I just haven't had a chance to come on, but every day right after.
Okay. So are you familiar with this like RC guy who's been joining backstage lately, dropping these like pins? There was like the Alan Shepard quote and all that shit.
Uranus?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a
Gnome Pickles with the $5 super chat says, but Hannah, maybe the Magic Money Man will give us money for the tributes we've left at the altar of Cohen. Praise the Teddy. Oh God, help. It's weird that it feels like we're consistently dealing with on this show what is effectively secular religions, secular religious cults, QAnon, this, Flat Earth. Very strange. They're like cults that act as new religions, but usually without magical elements. It's very strange.
A little bit of tinfoil that a guy had posted, but if you have anything that you want to share too, I mean, we're all ears as well. I know that you've been you're the one who posted the turtleneck shit today, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we pull that up first then? All right. Dilly Nas with the 5. Doug Sifu hired a sex abuser to coach his Florida Panthers, and then a drunk who caught a DWI charge. Says a lot about his management skills. Really? Is that really true? We also had Mo Money with the 2. As always, taking my usual dump, pee-pee. All right, right on, man. We're right here with you. All right, why don't we pull up that post? Let me send it over to Michael here. There's a little bit of tinfoil to get into tonight. Surprisingly, there's some good shit. So hold on one second. Where is it at?
Yeah, I can feel it in my hat.
Yeah.
Dude, Sloppy's on top of it. He knew exactly. That was very sneeze.
All right. I just sent you this, Michael. Why don't we take a look at that? Mo Money with the 5. FYI, PP, I was doing some data analysis between our sub and SS.
They're reading stuff into random things and posts. I'm concerned. Oh, I am too. Like, to be clear, I'm not saying to not take it seriously because it's secular. Like, it's still a concern. It's still acting as like a high control group cult-like entity. And that's just not good.
Recently, we have more comments and posts than SS in past month with less subs. Crazy. Really, man? Right on, dude. You know, people like the PP sub, man. There's a lot of discussion that goes on there, and it's very shill-free, man, you know? So that's...
Again, by shill-free, it's so interesting how he twists the narrative on this. By shill-free, what he is really saying is it's an echo chamber where they ban anyone who doesn't, like, echo the same conspiracy theories and just like go, yeah, this sounds good, guys, I'm bullish. So what they're doing is censoring opposing views and treating it as though, no, we're not censoring, this is a shill-free zone and shills are bad, because we've all agreed that, right? Scary.
That's how we try to keep it, because again, on the subreddits, you have no idea who's a real person, who's AI, who's bots, you know, things like that. So, you know, with the show, it's like, of course, you know,
there's no real opposition. Everything is bots and fake.
Things like that, they're totally allowed on. It's just because we know they're a real fucking person at the end of the day on the show.
Mostly shill-free.
Right.
So just FYI, if you post something and immediately you get 10 downvotes, those are shills. Don't let them make you...
No one ever downvotes anyone on Reddit. It's always bots, clearly.
Second guess yourself. Like,
never second guess yourself. Never consider if you might be wrong. Always continue to double down.
Just real quick, something
sometimes
last
people,
night. Huh?
Sometimes there's some like fucking shit posts though, man.
Well, some posts are genuinely bad.
It's bad.
Oh,
yeah. How many shills and like how well paid and whatnot they are.
Right.
Like,
just manufacturing conspiracies about everyone who disagrees with you or is interested in your group being paid opposition. Again, it's just the same patterns. Every single group locks itself off into some sort of weird internet echo chamber where they start enforcing, you know, shill-free zones, basically enforcing echo chambers through mass banning of dissent, and then they just descend further and further into this distillation effect of reasonable people, or more reasonable people, relatively speaking, leaving after getting banned for, you know, any amount of dissent, until you just get this dense group of people so disconnected from reality that they have no interest in any information that doesn't come out of their cult-like group. Happened with QAnon, this, Flat Earth. It's interesting.
It was apparent last night when we had a whole bunch come into an X space, but at like literally midnight. Mm-hmm. And this one, so Squeezest was like, he's like, where's your buddy? He's like, normally the stupid one comes in, and then the better show comes in second. And then this other guy comes up and he's like, can you guys please stop talking about Bed Bath & Beyond? I'm trying to go to sleep. And I was like, holy crap, like he's like on the clock.
Yeah.
No, he's just doesn't want you adding him.
And he has to like keep tabs on us. Mm-hmm. Otherwise he's gonna like lose his job. And I'm like, what is
that's not how like jobs usually work. What
going on?
Yeah.
Even a job that's a little looser, usually you have like on call or on the clock times, then you deal with things as they come. Like there's usually a time frame that's your time.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at this. Hold on one second.
I think you muted yourself.
Genius. All right, so this is from Pang, man, from today. Pang, you've been having some good tinfoil shit as of lately. So here it says, you know you've made it when you buy a turtleneck. That was a Ryan Cohen tweet. I can't steal all the credit. Shout out to you/Reedzilla04. And Ryan Cohen here tweeted, you know you made it when you buy a turtleneck. And obviously we have Marcus Lemonis, who is in a turtleneck. So what are you thinking, Pang? And what was Reed thinking when you guys had come to...
It's almost like wealthy people, in particular people who want to project an image of Silicon Valley tech bro know-how, tend to rip off the visuals of Steve Jobs, the original, like, Silicon Valley tech bro shit. We see this all the time. Elizabeth Holmes quite famously did it. The WeWork guy did it once or twice, I think. Like, it's a thing.
Or you made this post, but are you just using his quote there, or did you guys, like, did he send you this over? Did he have how to be Ryan Cohen?
I'm gonna be done soon, so I'm just gonna skip around a bit and see if there's anything funny.
Online, but kind of different. I want to tweet a lot, though. He says, busted. Post.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So, do you guys still want to cover this, or do you want me to move on to the next source of some tin?
Oh, okay. Hold on.
All right. No worries.
Next source of some tin.
It was not this one. It was the one in this actual scene.
They're talking about the movie Titanic. I know movies. That's a thing I know.
We also got a challenge by Krill with the 5. Victory was ours for the taking, and we took it. Dildo slapped the entire financial market, PP. All right, right on. Robin Hood gonna fuck me with the 5. Docket 2680, notice of agenda of matters scheduled for hearing on November 14th, 2023.
I hardly know her.
At 10 a.m. Credit to r/BC Eagle.
Oh my God, he's the
17.
worst host.
All right, we can take a look at that as well. I think Michael said that new docket is 7. Hell, grandma people. All right.
Very, very. So I was reading the tweet again, and it was just at the very, very last picture. So if you want to scroll to 5. So that diamond was, well, in our play, we think that it might represent the separation of Bye Bye Baby, right?
Wait, the heart of the ocean represents the separation of Bye Bye Baby? Okay. So for those who don't know, they read, like QAnon people, conspiratorial meaning into a variety of different texts that they believe are sort of the ciphers or the Rosetta Stone for people trying to secretly communicate with them. One of these is the James Cameron film from 1999, Titanic, and that is because Ryan Cohen once tweeted about the movie Titanic, one of the highest grossing films of all time. So they will sometimes take, you know, things from the movie and decide it has representative significance to their belief system, even though clearly that's absurd, like on the face of it when you hear it.
Because it's a crown jewel of the Titanic, and in our case, it's the Bye Bye Baby is a crown jewel of Bed Bath and Beyond. Right. So when I'm thinking about the grandma in this actual scene,
Rose. Her name is Rose. She's one of the 2 main characters of the movie. In fact, she is the protagonist. So you can remember her name.
Rose.
He did
looks at her diamond, and she's held it all her life because of
Heart of the Ocean.
Jack, right? And
yes. I'm following you.
No worries. And it relates to how I think that she held it for finite a time, and this diamond was like priceless, and she just chucks it in the water, right? Chucks it back into the sea and returns it.
Yeah, also 24 the money says she throws it into the ocean, but I thought that was also
what is it you were saying about cult without magic? I mean, this isn't magic. This is magical thinking, but it's not supernatural. It's conspiratorial. They're baking. They're doing conspiratorial baking, but it's not supernatural. It's just really out there and far-fetched and not plausible in any way.
An extended like scene or something that was like not meant to be in the movie. So what do you think?
I don't think. Yeah, that's
what. How does the original movie end?
She drops the heart of the ocean into the sea. There was actually an original deleted alternate ending where the Bill Paxton character is there, and so is the granddaughter, and there's like a weird, awkward love moment between the granddaughter and Bill. Anyway, the way the movie actually ends is better, but there was an original ending. Either way, she drops the heart of the ocean back into the sea, symbolically letting go and returning it back to her lost love, Jack, who her heart always belonged to, even though she had a family and another husband after the fact, which is a little fucking funny. Her husband was basically getting cuckolded from beyond the grave. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so that's Titanic.
She just goes to the end of the boat and just like looks out into the sea.
And it just ends, right?
She knew Jack for like 12 hours. Did you see how steamy that car got, though? He was real good.
Yeah. And
he ate ass. And it was 1912. You know how many people were eating ass in 1912? One. It was Jack.
Then, that was
set back the ass-eating industry decades.
Extended.
Didn't fully recover until after World War II.
Version.
Yeah. And if you just want to go back to Mike for a second. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for the most when I'm thinking about November 15th.
Didn't it technically belong to Billy Zane? Fuck Billy Zane. Also, he's probably dead by that point.
Man.
All right, zoom in on that shit. Let's take a look at this. This was the one photo I really, really fucking liked out of all of it. DJ
man.
with the 20.
Because no one washed their ass. That's what Jack liked about it. He was a freak. Again, did you see how steamy the car got?
Do you think Plastic Shambles' favorite brand of bird feed is? Do you think she buys it at the farm store or just eats it out of people's feeders? That's a great question. You'll have to ask her. What Nama with the Pee-Pee Show?
That's actually true. She was gifted it.
Soft Pee-Pee membership, man. Right on. Welcome to the Pee-Pee Club, man. And feel free to use those emojis, man. Right on.
Unironically, Titanic's a really great movie. No meme. No meme. Uncynically. Like, Titanic's not a perfect movie. There's plenty I don't like. But, like, overall, it's a really good movie. The model work, it's gorgeous. The set work, all the production design in general, beautiful.
All right, so what it says here is...
That's unfortunate, too, because I really like James Cameron as a filmmaker. Like, you kind of have to, don't you? Just statistically, so many of his films are some of the most popular and successful films of all time. But holy shit. Avatar, I just don't get it. I want to like Avatar so bad. The visuals of the first Avatar, I get it. It's cool, but I just don't. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, and I know that's not a hot take. I'm more just lamenting that I don't get it. And I still haven't seen the second Avatar movie.
I remember this. So, this.
Oh yeah, I heard about the Marvels flopping. I'm not really surprised. People's interest in the Marvel movies has gone down and down and down since Endgame. Their product, I think, hasn't been quite as good. So I'm not too shocked.
Was Pulte with his cigar, all right? This was before he came on the show, before he was really interacting really as much directly with me as well. And I asked him, what kind of cigar are we having? He says, you know. And the quote here is basically, I can't remember this guy's name. 3 years, I've thought of nothing but Titanic, but I never got it. I never let it end. I was saving this.
That's true. My wife says, maybe time to end. You've gotten to the eating ass point of tired. It's true. I didn't sleep great last night, so maybe it is time. All right. So yeah, let's wrap it up. We can watch PP another day. And we can pick this back up tomorrow. Or something. We'll see what we do tomorrow. Oh, there's no one to rate. We're not on Twitch. Cool. All right, so everyone have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. Fun as always. And, next patron stream when? Good question. Let me take a look. Let's do the Patreon-only stream next. Let's say next Sunday the 12th. at 2 p.m. Eastern will be my plan, unless anything else comes up or if I'm forgetting something. But that should be it. Yeah, you can join the Patreon if you'd like, get access to all the previous patron-only live streams. Also, there was some issue last time. Oh, I love you too, Mr. Blast. There was an issue last time with not being able to send links out properly to patrons, and I am so sorry about that. Wait, tomorrow is the 12th? I'm sorry, not the 12th, the 19th. I apologize. Or maybe... Let me actually double check on some stuff and I'll let you know for sure tomorrow. Yeah, I gotta check on some stuff. I forgot what the date was. Jesus, this month's just flying by. Alright, anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Adios. I will let you know, and I'll post it on the Discord when I know for sure. So follow the Discord if you would like to get up-to-date information on that. It'll go up as an event when the date is finalized.